draft number 2026. 20276B is in boy of $53,641.82. Make that motion. A second. I'm sorry.
Neil's not here yet.
Oh. Well, we don't need to do this out, but, Cynthia?
Aye.
Steve? Aye. Aye. And, right, moving on to new business, consider approving the resolution updating the security bond for those involved in handling money. Surety bond for those involved in handling money. Make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
All right, second. Okay. Cynthia?
Aye.
Steve? Me, aye. Colleen? All right, consider,
I did not say, I'm sorry, I'm a little slow tonight. Can you just clarify or confirm that the changes that were requested were made to add the additional signatures, right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
I can't hear, I'm sorry. Sorry, man.
Yes, we're good. Aye.
Consider approving the change in signatures for all banks to add Brian McDowell, keep current Mayor Montgomery and Deputy Treasurer Palmieri, and remove Deputy Mayor Endolfin and Village Clerk Delgado from the signatures of the bank. Now, how that would happen would be, a treasurer would be the sole signer of everything, and in the rare event that he couldn't do it, the deputy treasurer would do it, and even in the rarer event, I would do it. But all money's in and out would be with the treasurer. Make a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Thank for discussion.
Go ahead.
I'm just wondering what the rest of the board feels about this. If there's any thoughts on it being a better control or a less of an internal control.
I spoke to the treasurer, and he was nice enough to provide the law for the information, and he would have to be, him and Fran would have to be incapacitated in order for anybody else to have to sign. So they do have the checks and balances that I asked for on it, and I thank you for giving me the information. So if anybody asks, I had the information to share.
Okay. Cynthia?
I was just answering Justice Furlong's question. Go ahead.
Cynthia?
Aye.
Steve? Aye. Aye. Tony?
Abstain.
Randy?
Oh, he didn't make a motion.
You guys have not done the motion and I seconded it.
Motion.
Randy said
Randy seconded for discussion.
so.
Whose suggestion was this, the treasurer's, or is it anything that has to do with the revenue suggested by the comptroller's audit? Where did the thought process come from?
This is from state law, state village law 4.408, that articulates what the duties of the treasurer of each village is. It also, within the mayor's portion of that duties and responsibility, talks about how he is the last stop for signatures, so he should be on there. And nowhere in the law does it say anybody else except for the deputy treasurer for them to be able to sign checks on behalf of the village.
And so in theory, not in theory, really, we're just taking the deputy mayor office as signer. And how often does the village clerk, how often is she in the position to sign checks?
In this instance, you would no longer be in the instance of signing any check.
And currently, I know you haven't had a long time, so I'm sorry, and I'm not meaning to put you on the spot at all.
I have not seen any checks as a village clerk this time.
You don't see a ton of.
I haven't seen it.
I was always the last resort. And the back room here.
So we now, we made a motion.
We made a motion to say we're ready to leave.
Okay.
Sorry.
I have 4 yeses and 1 abstained.
I don't feel like I did enough research on that, so I'm going to abstain as well, to be honest with you.
people in the back room, can they hear?
No.
No.
Okay, what if we look up, then can you hear?
Yes.
Okay. We'll work on that.
Are you abstaining?
I abstained, I'm not sure that I did enough research to make an educated decision on that.
So we
If I
have
may,
Cynthia, Stephen, and I are for.
this is not a new motion for this board. This board has approved in the past people to sign it.
Yes, I'm aware.
Just go ahead.
All right. Consider approving the selection of RBT, CPAs, and LLPs, and that was the.
Yes, currently I have requests for quotes out to 3 different accounting firms, including this one. 2 of them have not responded at all. One of them has gotten back to me that they will send me the information that the board is looking for, as far as rates and what actions they can provide. Once I receive that back, I can provide that information to the board for the board to make a more informed decision on this.
Which firms did you engage with?
There's a local firm, Nugent Housing.
Yes.
Heiser, RBT,
Yep.
out of Waltham,
Uh-huh.
and then Berard and Associates out of Suffolk.
Okay, so we made a motion, I don't know if you were aware, it was a very chaotic meeting a couple weeks ago to engage with Nugent and Hausler for an estimate for an external audit. So I did reach out to them as well as PKF, O'Connor Davies, and RBT as well.
Okay.
I just, literally just at 5 o'clock received something from PKF, O'Connor Davies, so I'll forward it to the board and yourself and to look at.
Okay.
I did not receive anything, except an acknowledgement from RBT, and I did receive from Nugent and Hausler that they did not have the time to take this on right now. They're looking at October as their first slot to even start work with a new client, so, but they were open to us calling and asking them for any kind of advice or utilizing them as support. So I will forward that to you. What services are you looking to get and what answer did you get?
Mainly the immediate services that we need an accountant to help us get through is the annual financial report due to the state at the end of July. Currently, I'm trying to self-educate myself on how to do all that because I'm new to that particular
Fair.
report. But that is the immediate concern along with doing other roles of the accountant for the village.
Okay. It was stated when asked after the meeting, because I had not received a response from Nugent and Hausler that you and the mayor were handling the external audit. So that's not the request you put out, was to mainly file the AFR and get started.
Yes, to get an accounting firm online with the village in order to get going with all of it, including the audit, which would come after the AFR. The AFR is the priority at this point.
Right. And we have a quote and for services from RBT?
Not yet. I have not gotten any quotes back from any of the firms that I've reached out to.
Okay, so I would like to forward this to you as soon as we're done with the meeting, before we leave. I went to print it, Gardner, it was 28 pages. I like you guys, but not enough to print 5 times 28 pages tonight. And I did receive a response. I'll forward that to you as well from RBT. And can we
Okay.
table it till the next meeting, or is that something that we can evaluate based on what we received and make a decision between meetings?
You have to vote on what you're gonna fix, that's what.
You can't, okay. So next meeting, which is what date? And wait till, no.
Okay, so we're.
We will do what we can to get the AFR in on time for New York State.
Okay.
There are options to request extensions for that report. If we need to, we can go ahead and request the extension based on the situation here in the village.
Right. And there is always a no-no list in every training you go to that a lot of municipalities that simply do not file an AFR. So we've always been very diligent about that. So if we have to file for an extension, I would not stress that
Yes, ma'am.
because of the extenuating circumstances.
Okay. Again, I apologize for standing up. I had an operation and I just started doing it. So where are we standing?
For the 7th, yeah. To be ready to make a decision. And if you need somebody to follow up, I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
I'm sorry. All right. Treasurer update. I asked Brian McDowell to come here and do just an update on what's happening. He's been on the job now for a month. Give you a little history on Brian. He's a military veteran, credited for creating a budget of over $360 million for West Point Military Academy, in charge of the budget for the police, the fire department, the laundry department, Department of Public Works, and others that I'm not sure, not even sure of. Brian, in his month-long services to this village, has identified several budget concerns and red flags about how this village has been conducting business for several years. I want him to go through our entire budget, billing, and accounting this system and straighten it out. I have stated long ago, this is my own opinion, that I believe we have grown to where we need a village manager. No more contracting or outside party or an accountant or something like that, as we have, as we see the results of a part-time accountant, what happened to it, the debacle that we were in. I notified the village as soon as it happened by robocall. My only regret is instead of 45 minutes, I should have done 30 minutes, but it got out there. So now I turn over this choice, my choice, the village treasurer, Brian McDowell. It's yours, Brian, you want the microphone or whatever?
Yes, my voice doesn't carry very well. You've heard me talk. Everybody behind me probably has not heard me yet. So I'm just going to stand over here if that is okay with everybody. Good evening, Mayor, Trustees, Department Heads, and Residents of the Village of Montgomery. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening in my new role as Village Treasurer. Over the past 30 days, I have been closely reviewing our financial operations and internal processes. Tonight, I would like to share some initial observations and recommend practical steps to strengthen our procedures. I want to be clear at the outset. Every important employee I have interacted with within this village has been professional, helpful, and courteous to me. Nothing I say is intended as an accusation or criticism of any individual or this board. My sole focus is on improving our system so we can better protect the village and the taxpayers. Okay. At this time, the village's financial management and internal controls, especially in our purchasing and procurement process, are not as strong as they should be. And that is according to the procurement policy of the village and also the state's internal control regulation that specifies what should happen in all these internal controls. There are required steps in our own procurement policy as well as in New York State's guidance on internal controls that are often not being followed. Because of this, by the time the board is asked to approve the monthly abstract, the village has usually already received the goods or services in question. At that point, if we were to refuse to pay, we could damage relationships with vendors or even expose the village to legal action for unpaid bills. Once the product or service has been delivered, the village effectively is obliged to pay for it. To address this, I recommend that we formally implement a clear requisition and purchase order process. In accordance with our procurement policy, under this process, for example, a staff member would submit a requisition form requesting goods or services. The department head would then review and confirm that the request is a legitimate and necessary need of the department. That request would then be forwarded to the treasurer's office, who would then verify that there are sufficient funds available within the current budget line of whatever good or service return they get. If there are not enough funds in that line, the treasurer's office would work with the department head to determine the best course of action, which may include requesting a budget transfer from the board. Only after this review would the treasurer's office issue a purchase order. The board would then review and sign the purchase orders at the meeting along with the abstract, giving approval before any purchase is made. This change moves the board's role from simply paying after the fact to authorizing spending in advance, which significantly reduces risk to the village. To complete the control process when goods or services arrive, someone other than the original requester should confirm that they have received and are acceptable of the good or service that's received. This can be done simply by dating and initialing the invoice with a note such as received, or we can adopt a brief receiving report if we need to. At the board meeting, we can also provide a short report summarizing what was spent since the last meeting and what new expenditures are being requested for approval. This would give both the board and the public a clearer, more timely picture of village spending. Okay, another observation. Sorry, this is a lot. I apologize for Okay. I'd also like to clarify some points regarding the village's accounts and how we handle surplus funds. Currently, the village does not have a separate board-established reserve account that clearly reflects any year-end surplus. Instead, the general fund is constantly receiving and paying out money, which makes it difficult to know exactly how much surplus remains from any given fiscal year. It also makes it challenging to separate funds from current year to previous years. I recommend that the board create a formal reserve account. At the end of each fiscal year, any excess funds, once all obligations are met, could be transferred into this reserve. This would allow us to clearly track how much is available for emergencies and unexpected needs. Over time, a properly managed reserve may reduce our reliance on borrowing through bonds and bands to pay for unseen expenses. To protect taxpayers, I also recommend that the board, on top of adopting a reserve account, also adopt a reasonable cap on how much is in that reserve account. My suggestion, doesn't have to be concrete, would be 10% of the total budget for the year. If the reserve grows beyond the cap, the excess can be used in future years to help support revenues and provide some tax relief on the tax levy, while still maintaining a healthy cushion for emergencies. In addition, I recommend we improve how we separate funds by fiscal year. One way to do this is to establish fiscal year specific accounts, for example, for the current year and a limited number of prior years, so that funds set aside from one year's obligations are not accidentally used to pay for another year's expenses. After a set period, such as 3 years, any unspent funds in those older fiscal year accounts could be transferred to the reserve account and used only for true emergency unbudgeted needs. This would provide a clean break between fiscal years and improve transparency and accountability. Okay, and my last point for tonight. I've also been assigned to serve as the village budget officer going forward. Beginning with fiscal year 2028, I intend to include dedicated lines for capital reserve accounts. These accounts will allow us to plan and save for major future needs, such as replacing vehicles and equipment at the end of their useful life, upgrading infrastructure, and undertaking necessary renovations and improvements. In my professional opinion, the village is at an important turning point in its ability to consistently provide the basic services that the residents rely on. We can no longer afford to focus only on the current year. Establishing capital reserves is a practical, forward-looking approach that will help us avoid as much as possible emergencies and service disruptions caused by failing equipment or aging infrastructure. It will also help ensure that our employees have the tools and resources they need to serve the community effectively. And in closing, thank you for allowing me to share these initial observations and recommendations. My mission as treasurer is to help make the village of Montgomery more efficient, more transparent, and more resilient while safeguarding the public's resources. I want our residents to have confidence that their hard-earned money is being managed responsibly and that we are planning not only for today's needs, but also for the long-term health and stability of the village.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
That's for 30 days on the job.
We've been asking for that for a long time, so thank you. It's nice
Many years.
that you have a grasp on exactly what needs to be done and clearly identify it, and I look forward to working towards that. My only question is the statement about appointing treasurer as the budget officer now does not find any future board from doing that. Okay.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
You can't bind any future board by what the decisions that you're making now. So for as long as you are mayor and this gentleman is the appointed treasurer, he can be the budget officer, but we can't bind a future board to the same requirements.
Absolutely. Okay, next up, consider approving AEDs for the police department. Make a motion? Second?
I'll second for discussion.
Go ahead.
Debbie, maybe you can clarify, I don't mean to put you on the spot. The DPW, or Jake, I'm sorry, you're here.
No, I'm hiding.
I see. You do not need new AEDs, which is why you're not asking for the same thing.
I got no AEDs, but I did it different.
So you own yours and you're not going to be moving forward with the servicing monthly?
Wait, what was that?
You have AEDs and you're not going to be moving forward with servicing monthly with the Cintas program?
That's what we're doing, yes, we're leasing them. It's gonna be a monthly,
He is not.
he is not, he's buying them outright.
The AED grant, okay, that's it.
I have a question, and Treasurer, you probably answer that. I asked the police chief about the small equipment. Like it would, supplies would be like the pads and things for the AEDs, wouldn't that be under a different thing? And I know, it's coming, we're hoping to get the city's grant to offset those costs, but does our motion have to say like, we're only gonna purchase them if we get the grant, or, because it's, I know it's kind of like a hope and a prayer right now, but, I got two different stories I wanted to ask since.
Okay, so the definition of equipment, when I talked about it, when I was discussing it, is more durable, things that are gonna last for years and years. I'm not sure, because I'm not familiar with the AV life cycle, if AVs would be considered equipment in that vein where you would plan for it in the future. Also, the cost of an AED is I'm not familiar with either, so I would have to go and see what the cost is, if it's gonna be detrimental to the budget or the village to purchase, say, 5 of them all at once, as opposed to, piecemealing it together and putting them in various spots, because they are a life health safety device.
Right.
So you really want to get moving with getting and acquiring them and putting them in the places that they need to go. Again, this is all questions that I can look into. But as far as durable equipment, I'm not sure AEDs fall under that.
The 3 to 6 year, right? Jake, 3 or 6 year? 3 year or 6 year lifespan?
Like 3.
Durable maybe.
There's also, besides the Gary Sinise grant, there's also a New York State rollover AED reimbursement grant. So even if you don't get that one, we can apply to be reimbursed for that. So,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, make a motion?
We have one.
All right, so we're going to now. Cynthia?
Aye.
Steve? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, consider internal meeting procedure.
Yeah. That's all.
Also,
We must have different numbers.
I asked her, the one that we received on Friday was different than the one that was posted online. We have D as the unsolved, and GHI is the rest.
That's correct, we follow up, and we have it, we were on for all this.
So where's unsolved now? Okay.
No.
Yeah, can we take it right now, or we can do it now? Okay. Great.
So we make a motion?
So are we doing unsolved now?
That'd be great.
I'll make the motion.
Still down. Consider internal meeting procedure. What we-
You all speak up, please. Too much.
We're just discussing, we have 2 different agendas in front of us. So, okay, we have 2 different agendas in front of us, so we're just discussing where we're going with it. We're going to look at the on-solve. Is that what you have next on your agenda, or do you, okay. We're gonna vote on the on-solve and scratch it off the list.
All right, we have a motion.
That's not what the agenda.
That's
is.
not our agenda.
Okay.
Have to be added back.
We have to add, we have to make a motion
Oh, it's
to
not
add the
on.
unsolved to the agenda.
Make a motion to add the unsolved to the agenda.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Cynthia?
Does it-
Steve?
Yeah.
Aye.
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 All right, everybody's aye.
Now we can go.
Consider modifying the agenda template.
No, so let's vote on unsolved. All we did was put it on the vote.
Okay, now we'll vote for unsolved. That's code red, that's what this, people don't know what that means, it's code red. Vote for that. Make a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right, second.
And we get a discussion. So like the treasurer said, this is,
Louder, Cynthia.
we are already receiving the information, so this is just to approve the payment to the co-grant.
Right, this was one of the many invoices
And
that are already
contract,
coming in, and
yep.
we've already begun receiving services for.
And we had no current agreement with the terms that we could read over, even though out a new contract, he hadn't seen it, so we did not vote to include it in the last abstract that we voted on.
I actually got you guys a new contract, so what's in front of you is a new contract for the lower price.
Good deal.
Thank you.
Strong.
So we need a motion?
We have
I second.
Cynthia?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
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 Consider internal reading procedure. Explain it.
So I sent that out with the board documents on Wednesday, internal meeting procedures, just to start practicing how to communicate efficiently so that everyone is prepared and everyone knows what's expected of them, board, staff, consultants, everybody, to get to a point so that when we get to this meeting, we're prepared to do the business of the board and for you to observe it, because that's the goal of the meeting, that's the point of the meeting, and that's what a high functioning board does and presents. And I think that there's certain parts that are already in place, there's certain parts we all agree need to be put in place, but without just putting it down on paper and creating it as a procedure and starting to practice it, it will never be muscle memory. Eventually, it's muscle memory. All boards have a procedure somewhere, an internal procedure that somebody created and put on the books, and they practiced it until it became muscle memory, and now it's just their culture. That's what they do. Everybody knows it. When someone new comes on board, they fall into the folds and they follow the procedure that's been set. But we don't have that, and so this is the starting point.
Well, we had a behavior policy that was signed, that we all agreed to, that the agenda would not be changed at the last moment. And that's what I have a problem with. That's why, well, I know, but that's why I won't go in the room here for the meetings. No offense to anybody, but I think anything that's discussed should be in front of the public. That's my feeling. So, am I protesting it? I guess. That's just me. I'm allowed to do that.
Yeah, but so
Go ahead.
also, that discussion all the time, every time I've been here, has been you guys asking advice of me, providing attorney-client. That's exempt from open meetings, it's exempt from, specifically from the open meetings law. So if you want to talk to me about any question about legal issues, you can use me anytime. The majority of the board can talk to me about any legal issue, ask me for my legal advice.
And I agree with it.
Right, so I'm just saying, what goes on back there, I can't disclose what goes back there because it's attorney-client. But what's going on back there is your board asking me questions and legal questions about procedure, anything that's
You know, I agree with you.
so I just want to make sure, when you say you don't go back there, I'm just saying, what I'm doing back there is advising the board.
Yeah, well, I can't release what happens out there too. However, there have been decisions made back there that shouldn't be released from the public here.
That's not
So
true.
that's why.
That's absolutely 100% true.
Well, you did release something, I don't want to go into it, not. That's just my opinion. I think
We're all
everybody-
following the law.
Let's go.
We have a motion on
Okay, so let's move on. All right, and if it works, it works. I'm okay with it. All right, so consider modifying the agenda template. Moving on, you guys.
I make a motion to approve the internal meeting procedure document.
All right, so,
I'll make the motion.
second?
Cindy just made
I
it.
made the motion,
I'm
sorry,
sorry.
I wasn't loud.
Speak up. I'm seconding the motion. Is there any discussion?
Charlie?
Thank you.
All right, are we all in agreement with that?
Before we vote, I just want to ask, what's the best practice once we implement a new procedure?
So this is a policy, because
Policy,
you're,
yes,
yeah,
sorry.
policy, you have to do this anyway under state law. So, I mean, again, there's some things in here that, again, you have to do anyway. So you're just basically putting in a policy, which just, again, putting in writing what you need to do anyway, so.
So what's the best way because we have not implemented a lot of policy that we've then disseminated to the staff, so that everyone's on the same page, everyone's made aware. What's the best way to do that legally?
So if you're adopting these 2 pages tonight as a policy, then you adopt it, and then you probably should send it to staff and the department heads. So,
Call
last meeting required us to what, half an hour early and sit down? Is that what that
Did you not review it at all?
Just asking, you know, does that?
This is a policy, these are guidelines, you don't look at, some of the stuff is already, you have to do.
And we had.
And some of it is discretionary. I mean, obviously, when it comes to agendas, to give you an example, right? You as the mayor have the right to set the agenda, but the board has the right to alter that by majority vote. That's just the way the law works, right? So you can set it, but the board members' majority can change the agenda and say, listen, if we don't want this, majority can say, well, we want to change the order. But again, the initial agenda, as the mayor, you get to meet and set that.
And we discussed that.
Correct.
Right. And prior to you, the last attorney, we had one set, once it was posted online, it wouldn't change. Well,
So you can post online, but once you get to the meeting, this happens everywhere that I do this. If there's an addition to the meeting, again, the only thing you gotta be careful of, you can't just have a public hearing, a local law, or anything. That can't happen on the spur of the moment because there are notice requirements for that. But let's say a trustee wants to bring something to the board that's pretty benign, they can make a motion to add something on the agenda. It doesn't require a public hearing, it doesn't require, yeah, but that's up to you all, that's your call.
Past meetings have shown that's not happening.
So this trash
So
company.
that's why I won't back there. Okay, I have no problem talking, sitting, but if you come screaming at, yelling at, I just broke myself to that, okay? So we did have something where that was the last attorney, the last group of trustees over here, and it didn't work out. So we're not gonna go down that same path. All right, I think when the public shows up, they're going to see a certain movie or whatever, you go to the movie, if they change the movie at the last minute, that's not what you're doing. If you just receive a regular agenda for Hanover Street, KSH, whatever, and it's just moved out there, all right. That's my thing.
So what we're talking about right now is the information sharing and meeting administration policy. Can everybody hear me?
Let's go a little louder.
Okay, so what we're talking about implementing so that we can, again, practice it, and it becomes our culture, and it's not a practice, is standard communication expectations, agenda preparation, supporting documentation, monthly reporting, and meeting administration. This is not a private document, this is a policy, so I'm happy to make sure that we're posting it and sharing it everywhere and sending it out. But it will set a very specific standard of expectations for everyone else. So it takes emotion out of it, it takes politics out of it, it takes all of that out of it, and I would ask that everyone sitting in this room, because this is a very volunteer-based community, and everybody watching thinks about any other board that they sit on. If there is a policy or a procedure for how you prepare for your board meeting, how much easier that makes it for everyone. There's no more issues, and then we can sit here and be ready to rock and roll. Everybody already has the info, everybody knows what to expect, and we take a lot of the guessing out of it, so.
As long as it's not changed the last minute when you study the audience, let's get that off, let's get this one. Then the rest of them, I'm for. It's just, whether you like it or not, if it's on the agenda, you just gotta deal with it. That's the way I want to go, and that's why I want to connect with it. People should say. All right, let's move on, we have enough on that. Well, let's go, Cynthia.
Aye.
Stephen.
Aye.
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 Okay. Maria.
Then we have email that to them, writing it down. You have it, but I'll refresh it.
And they check.
Consider modifying the agenda template. I pretty much think it's okay right now. I do like that the department heads go first, instead of hanging around. I think the department heads should go. That's how I like to see it.
I'd like to see us do the things that we have to make motions for first. So that it goes sideways. Business.
Darlene said she would like to see the things that we're making motions for, the actual village business, right? Are done first, in case we fall back into old habits and we go sideways, that the business of the village is done. So I think we might all be in agreement then about this, you know.
I'd like to add, if a Cub Scout, Boy Scout, somebody else, some kid comes in here, whatever equal project, goes before everybody. Gotta go home, gotta go to bed, gotta do homework.
Totally agree.
Kids go first. Okay, so let's vote on that. I think that's a big deal to do, I think we'll all work that out.
I'll make the motion.
Second,
I'll second.
all right, Cynthia.
No more discussion? I'm sorry.
You can discuss.
No, I'm not here, so I did not vote, so I won't.
We can hear you.
Aye.
I asked you.
Aye.
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 Aye. For anyone who's keeping track, that was the 2 votes in a row that we all agreed on.
Consider approving the hydrant tracking system. Explain what that is.
That was also sent out on Wednesday for everyone to review and provide any feedback that they wanted to. It's also been discussed with DPW, it's also been discussed with the fire commissioner. Bob, am I saying it right? But that also includes the department, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a tracking device that would be a draft document that we could approve tonight to start tracking the servicing, repairs, and flushing of hydrants by address, so that we have it all in there. When the fire department, if the fire departments find something that's not on this list that needs to be serviced, they can communicate it, it gets added to the list. There are sign-offs included on here where, you know, who did the inspection, who did what the suggested remedy was, and who did the remedy for all the tracking purposes. I do think it's probably a lot. I am not a water inspector, and I'm not a firefighter, and I'm not a DPW employee, so.
When you say a lot, you mean a lot of money?
No, I think too much information is probably redundant, so I'm waiting for a little bit of feedback from the fire department and the fire commissioners and Jake, and I think the best way to do it is to implement it so we start it, and it's not a waste of time to continue to add in all the addresses and the rest of the work that has to be done to finish this template, and we start enacting it, and then we'll know if you really don't need this column, if you really don't need this
Yeah,
page.
it's like 30 columns.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So allow the experts to refine them.
Yeah, but I think the best way to do that is as we're practicing it in this particular instance.
I can agree more. Let's fix what we got out there.
Well,
Let's fix
we
what
are,
got.
but part of the discussion was that we know about the 3. We don't know about something that might not be working up to par already that was inspected 6 months ago. This is a way to track it and trace it and be accountable to making sure that this never happens again.
How does that happen? Well, explain to me. How does that happen? You mean you go out there and they check them, they do them twice a year. Jake, explain more on this, how this would work, please.
Well, it depends what route you want to go. I mean, everything can be computerized where they can, I know there's a way they can use GPS, and then there's other towns, again, but.
Is this like what I was talking to you about, Jake?
Yeah, that's another way of doing it, this and that. If you have a water department that has 5, 6 guys, what it is you can put everything on a tablet. So when the person grabs that tablet, they go to the fire hydrant, hit the button, it pops up. That's one way of doing it, which obviously that would be nice. That's something that's going to be down the road, because that's all new software, computers, all that stuff, which obviously we don't have right now. So basically right now, 2 guys flush. I keep the same 2 guys flushing every year, Greg and Kyle. This way they know where all the hydrants are. They are aware of any issues from previous flushing. So when they go, they're going to jot it down, and we'll have it on paper.
Would this allow a feedback mechanism for the commissioners to be?
Absolutely. If they want a copy of it, we can send them a copy.
It would be a shared document, and in this research process, they also have apps available to the fire departments that house some of this information also. So we don't know until we start. The issue is that we do not have any tracking or recording mechanism right now. And
exactly.
Do you see any potential downside of this, Bob?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you see any potential downside of this at all?
No, I don't. I think it's all a positive step forward. However, the biggest thing that I would like to see is flow testing. It's good to know if a hydrant works or doesn't work. It's good that they flush them and they hopefully check every single tap to make sure that they all work. We've had past instances where that hasn't been done.
that's on the checklist.
Good.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing is if we could flow test them too, so we know what hydrant is good and what isn't. Ultimately, and I've said this before, the color of the hydrant would be really good. Put the color of the tops on them so we can see.
What they flow.
Yes, exactly. So it's visible to see.
We
I don't know.
we did flow test last time we flushed. Not every hydrant, but usually the first and the last on the same street. So we are moving forward with that. Obviously, next time we flush, we'll do other ones. We'll keep adding them in.
Good.
And then this way that will also all go on that document and give you a better idea.
It's a positive thing going forward. For years, this has been done, not done, whatever. This is a great thing. And Jake, I know you're getting on the spot here. You're making up for past mistakes. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Yeah, he is. And Bob, I'm not knocking the fire department at all, believe me. I'm not knocking the fire department at all, but they told the last mayor all these years, and it wasn't getting done. Why did we just find out last year? Because I wanted it done the day before. Boom, fix the document. Why did it drag on this long? Because other things were more important.
We can't turn back the clock. Let's just look forward.
I got it. I got it. However, we still have 3 that are fixed.
Do we need a vote? Yep, we need a motion, and we're also, no, we have a motion and a second, we're discussing, I believe.
All right, so make a motion on, consider approving the hydrant tracking system. Again, I want to go back to the cost of this. Cost, is there going to be some sort of cost of this?
There is no motion. Okay, I'll make the motion that we,
Wait, the discussion, I'm discussing, how much is this? How much is this?
I'll second.
Nothing, I created it already, all I have to do is, yeah, I have all the, I just have to put the addresses in, and then it gets, that's the whole work. is putting the
I'm okay with
addresses.
this, as long as it doesn't start costing money.
Quite the opposite, and we'll make sure that we're never in this position ever again. You have to be able to track and trace and be accountable.
motion and a second.
Again, this is another reason why we put the fees on the water bills, water and sewer. So down the road, we will have money if we do decide to go totally electric with computers and this and that. I'm sure down the road that everything is going to be done by computers.
Now that convinces me, but you're saying that convinces me on that.
So yes, so that's another reason. So down the road.
I'm careful spending my own money and taxpayer money. I want to know where it's going.
But regardless of if we start it now or we do nothing, and then we have to create all of the information and pay somebody to put it in an app, it's gonna cost a lot more money than starting it now. Again, practicing it, it's muscle memory. Once the addresses and the initial information about the hydrant itself are input into this document, it's just a checklist and a sign-off sheet of who does what when. You're doing it anyway, you're just not tracking it, and then it's this when we have an issue. So that makes everyone be able to have accountability and know what the expectations are.
All right, take a vote then. Cynthia?
Aye.
Steve?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Yeah.
Mayor, before you move on, can I just give you something here? Since you're talking about hydrants, I just figured. This has obviously been a topic of discussion. Figured I'd do a little show and tell of the new. So now you're going to be able to drive down the street. You're going to absolutely see.
I don't see the sleeve holes for their arms.
Exactly. But I actually thought about cutting it open and letting my grandkids bring it in here. But that's it. I'll let you touch it, feel it, so you can feel the quality of it and any questions you have on it.
And Bob did drop them off to us.
I did drop off 4 of them to Jake. He's going to have some ties to put them on with on the bottom. I know the discussion was about the security of them, stealing them. I did look at cables to put them on. They were 6-foot cables and they were like $30 a piece, and they were all keyed differently. So I didn't go with that because I knew that would be a disaster in years to come.
I don't know, maybe I'm the only guy that see this whole thing.
And if somebody's going to cut a cable, they're going to cut anything else.
Yeah, if they want it, they're going to take it.
But
Maybe I'm the only guy that sees this, but we shouldn't even have to think about it. It should just be all fixed.
I agree, but let's,
Move on.
Thanks, Bob. Thank you, Bob.
Go on here now.
Jake, can you just clarify on those? Because I brought those to your attention last June, a year ago, and we didn't want to get them because they didn't lock. So now
Clarify
we have
what?
the hydrant covers. So now it's okay to put them on our fire hydrants without a lock? Or we are going to be locking?
Well-
I didn't understand that question when Bob brought it up.
It wasn't a matter of, we had them little round things that we would put on.
Right.
And on some of the, not so much locking it for somebody stealing it, on some of the hydrants, because they have to go on the 5 1/4. Some of our older hydrants don't have the 5 1/4 snout for the hose.
Okay.
So what we would do is we would just hang them on there, and obviously they would fall off and stuff. So this time we zip tied them, this and that. Something like that, we can zip tie on the bottom. Like Bob said, even if we put a cable in the lock, if somebody wants it,
Yeah,
they're gonna take it.
Absolutely.
So,
there is one over in Walden.
I'm sorry, that was your concern last year, so that's why I just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, there is one in Walden across from the Dunkin' Donuts. If anybody wants to see one, that's been there for a few months. You can see how long it lasts for. Hopefully Walden is paying attention to this and they might address that.
All business. Reminder, public notice was posted for the ban of $125,000 for the hydrants. Budget discussion?
I mean, I have a lot of questions. I feel like I should not be the one to start because this.
No, I have budget discussion, and I think Brian helped us out a lot there on the budget discussion. I gave my own 2 cents about having a village manager. I think when we had a village manager here, again, this is just me, I'm not speaking for the board, I think if we had a village manager here in this growing village, he would not have let what happened go. Now, the monies that were spent, the taxes, we were given a false tax percentage. However, all that money that was in there, we all voted on. We all voted on spending that money. He just came back with the wrong percentage. But everything that was in there was voted on. So he came back with the 5.2 or something like that, and it was really not. And you pay a guy to do this, you get a village manager coming in. A village manager would handle contracts, police contracts, DPW contracts. We wouldn't have to farm this out all over. We need to have our own internal thing. It would pay for itself. We would have a village manager that would pay for itself. Again, this is my own belief on here. From what I'm seeing here, and this is only my second budget here, we just went along with what was there. I didn't know this stuff. I have a minor in business administration, so maybe a genius. We run a household. I have investments. I have recent investments. We're doing very well, and I'm stupid, but I can't run this. And the part-time group here is supposed to do this.
Respectfully,
It's not, excuse me, I'm supposed to be.
16 budget, not your second budget, sir.
So you asked me something to start, so I'm starting. So now we get to this part of village government. I think we need a village manager. We need somebody that's at the helm constantly. Let me see that, what's that? Not, geez, we started from a budget in January, and then all of a sudden, wow, how did this happen? Somebody's watching. That's my own opinion here.
It's not that.
And like I said, it would pay for itself.
Respectfully, it's about your 16th budget, not your second budget. Also, it is
My
not,
budget?
it's about your 16th budget,
No,
not your
excuse me,
second
you were
budget.
wrong on that.
And
The last man did the budget all
You,
himself.
excuse me, you've spoken, now it's my turn to speak, correct?
The last mayor did the budget
No.
all himself, but that's a lie. I did not do the budget. The mayor did the budget the last one. Okay, we did not play a role other than vote on it. Okay, so let's say it's my 16th budget. That's wrong. That's absolutely wrong. And now I'm the mayor, so I'm seeing things differently. I'm seeing things, wow, before I wasn't privileged to that. Now as I see mistakes, I hire people up accordingly to fit in those spots. Every department head that's here now, I have to put in that position. I put him in there not because of friendship, because I lost one friend, because he thought he was gonna get a job, and he did. I put him in there because of competency. And one of them is in a position and they didn't like me, and I'm pretty sure they didn't vote for me. But they're in a position because they love doing the job. That's it.
I've ever heard my entire life. Is it my turn?
Well, you said that. Take
Oh,
over.
yeah, we're still on budget, yeah. So, the budget process should be a cooperative effort. The more cooperative it is, and the more automated it is by using spreadsheets and Excel sheets to be able to look at year over year and look at the formulas and ensure that they're right and have the format be exactly the same year over year. The more that we could ensure that there's more eyes, there's more internal controls, there's more double checking of the work that's going on. We have tried to push in on that for years. And this year, we did have questions about what went on. And none of that even matters at this point, because my real question is, when you received the phone call from the Orange County Real Tax Office, and they flagged you that there was an issue immediately, and you sent them the first page of the budget to look at, and they told you what the issue was, it is my understanding that they also informed you of what the options were. And instead of ever speaking to this board about what we should do as a whole for the taxpayer, you took it upon yourself to choose to keep the levy at what it was and increase the tax rate to a total of 23 and change percent without ever, and now that's something that I'm accountable to, and that wasn't the only option. Why did you think that was okay to do?
First of all, it was 23, it was 18. Okay, Brian, would you like to explain that?
The increase was 18. The final amount that went out to the taxpayers was 23% and change.
23. 2.3. Would you like to explain that?
So the increase was really the year-over-year per thousand cost to each resident for their evaluation of their property. Those who are exempt were not included in the initial figure. After the county caught it, a revised net assessed value was sent out. They in turn lowered it to about 198 million-ish. And because of that, the cost per thousand of assessed value for everybody who was not exempt went from $19 in FY26 to $23 per thousand in 27. That is my understanding of it. Obviously, I was not here for that, so I'd like to make that clear. I don't want to get jumped in the parking lot for that.
The budgets, what I'm learning, because I do my own thing without going to conferences and all that stuff, is budgets are done by the mayor or the supervisor or whatever with the treasurer. It's done just like I did the union contract. Then it's brought to the table, and all issues are to look at. What I did here is I put too many cooks in the kitchen. I let everybody put their fingers in the budget, all this stuff. That's not the way to do it.
That is absolutely contradictory of what the financial controller at the county says, the comptroller says, and the real county tax office says at Orange County, all of which I've spoken to multiple times in the last 3 weeks.
No.
Okay.
You all,
They're all wrong.
went to Debbie, and you all went out to look at everything. You've got to look at everything. So this got past everything. I shared the wealth with everyone. One who screwed up was the accountant. Contractor outside.
That's not
This
the
is where you
question.
need the village manager.
When we knew the issue was what it was, why did you decide to make a decision without consulting with the rest of the board, knowing that there were other solutions given to you and other options to just increase the tax rate?
You're making things up. What
I am
happened was-
absolutely not making things up,
When
and
it
you
came
will not
out-
say that
when
again,
it
or you
came
can
out-
expect a cease and desist.
Will you stop it?
No, I will not.
Listen to me. When it came out, I put it out on the board, and I put it out on a robocall immediately to let people know what happened. Immediately. That's what I did. Okay, and as far as doing these budgets.
You're repeating things that are not the question, they're not anywhere related to the answer that I'm asking you to give me. When we knew the problem, it was
One
identified.
thing I gotta tell you is, I have several people in this village. I found that I got lots of supporters, and I appreciate them. But one thing they have come to me and told me, and they're damn right, is not to engage with you. So we're not to engage with you. We are not gonna put on a show for everybody.
So now this entire board is out to take responsibility and accountability for a decision that we financial controller at the county level and by the real county tax office at the county level. And it was gone back and forth multiple times from the 12th of May till the 15th of May when you signed it on the 19th of May. And this board reached out multiple times and never once received an answer. Never. And if I had a say and I had a vote, I would never have put that on the taxpayers. Never. We have multiple year contracts that have a huge financial burden on this tax levy that we were already looking into and getting actuarial reports for that are factored into that budget. And a lot of these people are already stating that they're on a fixed income. A lot of you don't pay your taxes in escrow like I do because you don't have a mortgage levy does. But that does really affect your bottom line and your spending your $145, $165 increase every month that you're getting now. I would have never chosen to do what you did.
Who said you were $155 increase?
That's the math that they gave us from the real tax office.
I don't know what math you got. Mine was $42 a month. As far as having a mortgage or not having a mortgage, that just happens to be the way you plan.
So you're not
Yes,
answering
some
the
people
question,
have mortgages
and
and
that's
some
where
people
we're at.
don't.
Okay, you can move on if you're not gonna answer the question. I think what you did was unethical and it doesn't surprise me.
Well, that's your opinion, okay? When it all happened and you found out about it, nobody called me and said, hey.
That is a lie, and I will not allow you to stand up here and continue to disparage and lie. Look at the record, look at the emails, the texts, and the phones. You're lying. You are lying. You are bold-faced lying.
You're lying. Oh, you called me and asked Mike, can I help? What's going on with that? Did you do that?
Well, we have two suggestions.
I spoke to you the next day on this, so
I just cannot believe that nobody else has another question.
No, it's the same thing. We did reach out and we asked and we received no responses. I received no emails, nothing from you on this.
you cannot reach out to me, nobody reached out. You continued your conference up there in Lake George, and I was here by myself putting out these flyers.
You had a meeting there tonight, you didn't do anything.
No way. We have all had access to
All right,
emails, so where was the
listen.
communication? And answer my question, sir. Where was the communication to the board when you
At the next meeting, you were all there.
when you found out?
Guys, listen, you guys got a meeting to run. You should be calling out from the public, okay?
Thank you.
Give you 3 minutes. But among you all, look.
They shouldn't be acting like that.
Well, I'm getting there. Okay, you guys, I know there's an issue, right? But at this point, you know, I'm just Joe Lawyer here, right? So I have no say what happened, whatever happened, how it happened. At this point, I don't care. It's got to get resolved at some point. And you guys have to conduct the business of the village right now. So instead of pointing your fingers at one another, just
I'm asking
keep.
for
But I understand. So
Move on.
Yeah, move on. Again, I don't vote here. I'm just a hired gun, right? So what I'm saying to you all is, you want answers. You want answers. There are ways to get it. Okay, it's not.
Clearly not.
Well, but it's not in this form tonight. There are ways to do it, but it's not in this form because obviously you disagree, he disagrees. You guys have disagreed on what happened. I understand the mayor's point
That
because
be judgment of the taxpayers.
again, put a pin on that. I understand all that, but to your point. There's a whole thing about village managers, village administrators, which I don't disagree with you because a lot of villages and towns that I've represented in the past 30 years, there was only one that didn't have a village administrator or manager. They all did. Okay, now it's a cost, it's an expense, you're paying the person, but personally, a lot of this would have been avoided if you had a point person that's here daily that would be the QB with the department head when you're doing your budget. That way you wouldn't be in this situation. So I understand, and to your point, again, and you have a small village here, so I don't know what it's going to cost you to have a full-time village administrator, village manager, but I know there are Westchester, where I live in Westchester, or in other places, Rock, when I do this, where your budgets are pretty similar, yet they have village administrator.
Don't compare Westchester to Orange County.
So
Stop doing that.
Excuse me.
I'm tired of you doing that.
Right, well,
We're not Westchester.
I do a whole lot Valley, excuse me. So,
please.
okay?
They don't have to, just you, God.
Right.
Yeah.
So my point
That happens a lot.
is, you guys want to me right now is
Yeah.
have village business to attend to. This issue's not going to get resolved here. So,
Agreed.
but I agree with you. having a village admin and then manager it's not a bad thing, but again, it's a budgetary thing.
No, well, I
You
think
guys have
it's
to make that.
so, I had said almost a year ago that we needed a village manager, and here it comes with this, the outside contract.
Yeah, and to address the member of the public, I've been doing this 30 years, in all of Hudson Valley, so I've dealt with not just Orange, Rockland, Westchester, Dutchess, Lunch himself, I've done a lot of this, so with all due respect, I've been there, done that, so.
Yeah, that's, well, thank you for explaining that.
You're supposed to explain the law, not his opinion. Stick to the law.
Effort.
Can we get back to the agenda, please?
Which one? Thank you.
I'll answer, or did you just count it? Also,
Okay,
someone else will fix it next year.
board committee meeting, work for that.
We're on part C.
All right, Parkland delineation. Parkland delineation. I didn't put it on, so we'll move on from that.
I would like to make a motion for the board to instruct DPW to put Marion Court back the way that we found it. I believe it was done so unethically, the way it was. And I think we need to replace the earth and then get some trees planted on that.
Okay, well,
I'll second
I'll even
for
explain more on
discussion.
what happened with Marion
I'll
Court.
second for discussion.
But, the Marion Court incident happened, it was in place long before you even got it. What we had down there, what we had down there was a situation, a drug situation, that apparently was going on for years. So what happened under my administration, within less than 4 months, it's gone, it's over with. Then this Marion Court, the situation with Marion Court. Well, I'm gonna explain why. It got to the point there was gonna be an exit off of 84, the way we were gonna put it in there. I spoke with this lady back there on it, and I spoke with her and her son. They talked to me on the phone, in the car. I told her it wasn't going to happen. But when I was away, when it started taking place. Now, nobody's to blame, it happened. It grew away because it was in progress before they had plans on it. I stopped it in its tracks. The lady, you want to explain what happened?
Jake and Bruce are both prepared.
All right, Jacob, Bruce, can you please stand up? And
We have a motion.
We have a motion.
Or
Discussion.
Discussion is amongst the board.
Right, there's a motion, and you had discussion. You want to say discussion?
We don't, we're not, we're not asking for the departments to have information.
That's your call to ask.
Okay, go ahead, Department heads, please explain further.
We don't, we're not asking.
Well, I've done a little bit more investigation on the exit for the required exits for the North Montgomery Parkland. Due to the size of the parkland, it's required to have up to 3 exits by New York State NFPA 101 and the fire code. Okay? Goes by the amount of people. Parkland, courts, patios, falls under the building department and the fire inspector to require what is required for safety for the Village of Montgomery residents. So the exit is required regardless of anything else. It's got to go through, has to. That's it.
Not true.
No, it is true. It is true.
We had,
Yeah,
went through your statement, we had some-
NFPA
you know,
101.
I'm not gonna argue with you,
Municipal.
I'm just letting you know.
No. Well, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'll give the proof to the attorney tomorrow, and he can deal with it from there. So it's got to do with the NFPA 101 Life Safety Code, and it's got to do with the International Fire Code, which is New York State Fire Code. And it's in there. It's in there. It's in there.
On buildings, not
Well,
parklands.
it's got-
We looked it up.
One up to 49, one to 49 occupants in that place, in the park, one exit. 50 to 500 occupants, 2 exits. 501 occupants to 1,000, 3 exits. That's in it, that's all I know.
And we were non-compliant for how many years, Bruce?
Quite a few.
Okay,
It was
so-
brought to the attention. The other thing is, we have a problem with the open oxidation sewage plant. No one ever addressed this, ever, since it was put in. You have to have a buffer zone. There is no buffer zone. The health and safety of the children, or anybody playing in that area, it recommends up to 150 to 500 feet.
And what does that have to do?
I've got the DEC calling me back, and the New York State Board of Health and the Orange County Board of Health on this situation, to give me the actual numbers.
And what does that have to do with the mayor and court cut through?
Well, it was brought up about the baseball field that's down there right now and putting the road in. The road can go around the perimeter of the park down, well, number one, it's not parkland, it's village land. It's not designated yet. So the road can go down around the edge by the sewer plant, come up around with a few turns. That way no one can speed through there. There will be an exit and an entrance. You won't have to worry about the pickleball people running over anyone. And you've got, well, I'm serious. Last year, 2 children almost got run over, okay? For them flying down bachelors. So I'm just giving you an
So
example.
if we were out of compliance for many, many years.
Yeah, well, now we have to get in compliance.
Right, and you don't think that nobody here, again, thought that was a discussion for the board? We thought, let's just do it and not tell anybody and not have a plan. Let's make a knee-jerk reaction when we're about to put another $1 million into this park, and we can make it all work together. No one wanted to have any discussion?
They put another baseball diamond in there without checking as far as buffers and stuff. I didn't know anything about this until it was all brought to my attention and to
So you're
investigate.
the building inspector.
Yeah, well, I investigated. It was brought to my attention. I didn't have that for an attention before.
A lot of
It
things.
wasn't in my
a lot of
scope,
things we didn't
not in
know
my
about.
scope of work in the beginning.
I'm not saying we didn't know, but as we know, we bring it up to each other and we decide what the right thing to do is with different perspectives and different backgrounds to make sure we're coming up with something that suits the entire community. We don't just make knee-jerk reactions to
It was
hold
not a
those
knee-jerk reaction. I
You know,
stopped.
this isn't getting thrown on me for blame, because I'm only a part-time building inspector. Yeah, I put in quite a few hours of my own too. So no one's blaming me for anything here.
There is a motion on the floor.
No, one thing is, Steve, stand down for a second. Jake's gonna talk now. Go ahead, Jake. Tell us the history of what was there. What was
It was brought to my attention, there was an issue down there, we were looking for a way to solve it
What was the issue?
with traffic during summer camp.
There.
There you go. Okay.
There you go.
Guess I should have just said summer camp, but anyway, there's always been an issue down there with traffic.
Correct, sure is.
Years ago, it was brought up about having Marion's Court come all the way through. This is even before Buddy, this is when Tony was here. That was brought up. So I said, okay, then let's move on with that project. I was told, okay, let's do it. I started to do it.
Yeah, don't take any blame, I'll take all the blame for that.
Married, tell
All the
you.
blame for that, okay?
We just want to put back at this point.
That's what we're going to
That's whatever.
So we
You tell me to put the dirt back, I'll put the dirt back.
I've spoken to people who live down there, they're okay with it. They're glad the drug problem is gone.
I live there, I'm fishing, I sleep out
They're
there
glad that
tonight.
the drug
Crap
problem is
all over
gone.
the place, people run into the door, I have 11 pictures.
She's not
That's what they're glad, that the drug problem is gone, not a couple of trees.
These people got a chance to speak. I don't like that we didn't have a chance to speak.
These are department heads.
This is gonna be so.
Listen, I'm one of 5 votes. If you want to spend money, put your trees on it, go ahead.
You guys make motions.
Yep, I'll take a motion to park alienation, put the trees all back, or whatever you gotta
The
do.
dirt and the trees. My motion is
What is
the
it?
dirt and the trees.
Go right ahead, while we still have 3 fire hydrants at the moment. Go right ahead, that's what we're saying.
Call for the vote. As best as we can't put aged trees back
So
there.
that's your motion?
My motion is to instruct DPW to put the dirt back, close that opening, and then plant trees to sustain the surface.
That's the motion.
Can I maybe offer a compromise?
No.
Sorry,
This is fired me up. What's up?
Can we make a motion that's a little bit open-ended to make a plan for an immediate berm and shield that is not overly permanent and expensive, because we are about to enter into planning for New York Forward. We want to put a berm back, we want there to be a clear barrier, but
People are literally traveling through these people's yards, parking in there, and moving back and forth through a space that didn't exist. That space needs to be closed. That's how.
Let me just bring up a sore subject here. The town's also looking to make that sewer plant tremendous. What is that? All 17 days, sewer and everything else, okay? Stay on top. Let's not forget that. Go ahead, vote. Cynthia?
So you made a modification to the motion, but it's the original motion still stands?
Original motion.
Okay.
So can I just get it? I'm gonna repeat it. To restore as best as we can, the dirt and plant, the dirt and plant trees on Merritt.
Bring it as close to what it was.
Right, to restore it to its original condition as best as practical.
Yes.
That's the motion.
Okay. Cynthia?
I seconded it, just stay numbers.
So now you want to roll call.
Cynthia?
Yes, aye.
Steve?
Aye.
No.
Yeah.
Alright.
All right.
What's the cause for abstention?
There had to have a cause.
She said she had
Okay, so it's three, one no, and one abstention, so the motion passes.
Another mess that I inherited from the midnight.
So the dirt's going back?
Yes, sir.
What kind of trees are we getting?
Whatever you feel will best support this structure so that dirt doesn't wash away.
Okay.
And Jake, if you want help, I'd be happy to help you plan.
Absolutely.
I'll look at getting some donations.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a call already.
And
Thank
Bruce,
you.
I appreciate what you do, and you don't deserve to be talked that way.
I'll call the Department of State tomorrow. I'll get them involved and we'll see how it works out.
All right, official calendar. Budget workshop.
Move it again.
We had the dates that we put up there, and,
Miles away.
we were talking about maybe we change it to like financial work sessions and reviews instead of a budget, because the July one that we talked about would be so quick that even if, we start talking about the treasurer's plan. So on the budget workshops, we just have to approve those dates and, that we agree to. And then maybe word it as like financial work sessions to work together on your plan, and communicate on how we can help.
So when I spoke with Trustee Oakland about this, 45 days into your current budget year is kind of early to be talking about next year's budget. Because, and for the main reason is we haven't even closed out FY26's budget yet at that point. So I'm open to meeting with department heads and board members and mayor, everybody, to just kind of lay the framework for how we're going to attack the budget coming up for FY28.
Yeah.
But as far as making the budgetary decisions for FY28, in my opinion, it's kind of jumping the gun.
What would you advise?
And not only that was the intent, I think it was the intent to
To
have
get
a really firm, especially now, but have a really firm grasp on what we're doing, where we're headed, what the annualization is of everything, and
So the initial meeting is kind of more geared towards what expectations are for department heads and, mayor coming up for next year. what his initiatives are for the upcoming FY, and also to talk about what we need to change about the budget, because right now it seems awfully rigid, where decisions can't really make that much of a difference within the budget. So, from my perspective, making the budget more flexible, and in case emergencies come up and you don't have the funding for it, you can prioritize all of your actions that go into the budget and set that priority to know what you can and can't cut from the mayor's perspective, based on his initiatives moving forward. So, the initial meeting is really just to get everybody together to start talking about what we're going to be doing in the upcoming year to get ready for FY28.
And all we get out of that is a better monthly financial reporting process, so we have a better understanding of what's going on based on what you're seeing. That's great. And like, just discussing what the goals are long term, so everyone's working towards the same financial goals would be great.
Right.
And can you repeat, you said that there was a report that is always available to the board, and
Right,
I've never seen it, so you could.
So there's a report that talks about revenues and expenditures against budget that is already produced by the treasurer's office. I've seen it multiple times because I've needed it multiple times already. And that is a report that the board requires. And frequently, the mayor can tell me when he wants me to produce that report for the board, and you guys will have it.
It's been something that's been requested since April of 2023, and it's never been provided. Not one time, this board has never looked at a financial report for a meeting. Wow.
It's there.
Thank you. I appreciate that, thank you.
Board committee meeting, Jake?
Well, we have to put the dates on the calendar. Are
Well,
these
we're not
dates-
sure, how are you gonna know what you're doing in summertime?
Nope, we talked about it after meetings. These are the dates, everybody's provided feedback, we'll put them on the calendar. We gotta move forward.
July 8th, right?
July is your board committee meeting.
Oh, I thought that's what we were just talking
We're
about.
doing budget stuff, we didn't put the budget on Monday.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I need permission to get some outside landscapers to cut some grass, overgrown grass in a few residences here in the village. The grass is over 2 feet high, and Jake is, they're overwhelmed in the department, they're short of staff, they can't do it for at least 3 weeks to a month. So I think we need to get someone over there to these 2 places to get the grass cut, and then bill it. One of the county owns one, and they said they won't cut it, they would like us to cut it.
Will they pay us for it?
No, it's gonna go on to people's taxes. Go on to taxes. It'll go on-
Oh,
yeah.
I get it, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now, what if they don't? What if they don't pay us?
Well, eventually someone's gonna pay it.
MDS does that, right? He works with
Yeah,
municipalities.
yeah, it's just, that, you know, all the
Can
grass.
somebody just go mow it, like?
Yeah,
Wait, you can't just, you have this whole private property you're talking about?
yeah, I already sent the letters registered, return receipt requested.
Are you still in our code?
And the county called me, the county called today, plus they sent an email saying that they can't cut it, they won't cut it, they want us to cut it, and that's, we can't cut it right now.
You know, as long as, I know there's a nuisance law, you have to follow, certain procedure you have to follow before you start messing around with private property. But once it's cut, once you do, we lien the property for whatever the cost of the labor, that, whatever.
You know, following proper procedure.
Yeah, as long as that's fine, and if you're at that point in the process, then yes, you can do it, and then lien the property.
Do we have to vote on that, or can we just say, oh, go?
You should go, you're asking for assistance to retain?
Yes,
You know that, you know what the amount is?
no idea. what
Yeah,
they're
so
charging.
you should probably get that amount first before you vote.
Does he just have the authority to do it on his own as the building inspector?
Depends on the procurement policy, right?
Yeah, exactly, depends on your procurement. and how
I
much-
just thought they do it as an emergency to fire inspector because it's a chance of fire, so, you know, it's gonna be hay. So we've got, there's not a recourse here except to get it cut. I don't know what the guys' going rates are, I have no idea. Could be $85 an hour, probably.
I'm more concerned about the neighbors who live around that.
Yeah, they're all calling me every day, they call. Yep.
All right, well, what's the addresses and, hold on.
Yeah, 157 Senior Street and 210 Union Street.
Did you advise that we needed a bid first?
If he's doing this under emergency, again, normally when this is done, I don't know where you want, it's the first I'm hearing of it, so I don't know where you want
The
to
first
the
we're
process.
hearing.
Right, so, again, normally when this is done, there is like, there's an expenditure, okay, this is gonna cost, go and cut it, it gets voted on, or if it's done in emergency, emergency, you can tell us what it is later, and you can add it to the abstract at the next meeting. But again, it all depends on the cost. 2 properties you're talking, how much is the acreage?
I know the one, the Cedar Street, is a mess.
Two, yeah.
I mean, how much property are we talking, half acre?
Well, the one we're talking about, an acre,
Half acreage?
yeah, one's an acre.
All right, so you're probably not gonna run afoul, just, any procurement issues at those numbers, knowing what it costs to cut.
That's
But
it. Can I consider it an emergency?
if it's deemed an emergency, if it's a safety issue, public health safety, you can vote on it, try, you need the property address, is what you have, so you can vote on it, whatever it is. Again, whatever the cost is, you're gonna leave it anyway on the properties.
I have a question. Is that one of the videos that we just signed for the certified mail? Is that the one that we're talking about? So the certified letters just went out.
Yeah, we got them back. We have the answers, they're not cutting.
Well,
Lena,
well, I have I first concerned about the people who live around.
Yeah.
If we have to do it, I would do it as the village and then pay. And then charge.
that's gonna be my question to Lena. If the DPW does cut them, can we charge them whatever? Like,
Yeah.
how do we go about charging them?
If you do it, whatever your obviously the CBA has a waiver, I'm sure it does, the rates that you guys charge, that's what you would use, and that's what we charge. That's what we
Okay,
follow.
so we have to go, okay. I got it.
So we can't do?
Well, we can, but it's,
If Jake does it, we don't have to go through this whole thing.
No, you
We'll
still
just manage.
have to go through because you're basically encroaching on private property, trespassing, and you're doing something for public health, safety, welfare, under nuisance statute, which I haven't seen, so I'm relying upon the building inspector, Jake, that it's been followed. You've got to return receipt back, okay, so I'm assuming it's past the 30 days, whatever the case may be. So yes, DPW can do it, and a lot of communities do have their own folks do it in-house, and they, whatever rates, whatever schedule you get internally, that can be charged.
That would be the fastest way to take care of people who live around.
Yeah, my own caveat is as long as it's in the process and you're at, because again, private property can be processed and has to be followed. Because, what I don't want to happen is someone challenges you, or if it's an estate, because a lot of these are zombie properties, there are estates that just sit there. And a lot of times, when you do cut the grass and lean in, ultimately get paid because we'll get lien on the property. So we just got to talk about what the cost is and then how we lean it as we go.
That's fine. We just want to keep the place beautiful.
but I was just like,
Yeah, that way we're not shopping for the.
well, I get that, but I was looking to make money, Mike.
Do you have time to do it, Jake?
What's that?
Do you have the time and manpower to do it?
Like everything else, we'll have to find the time. if it
I'll
comes
cut
out.
Cedar Street tomorrow, it's down to
So what I would suggest is make a motion to cut, take care of the properties, just cut the grass, whatever you need to do on those two properties. Subject to whatever amounts we lean on both properties if they're not paid.
Good, thank you.
So, we need a motion.
Make a motion.
Likely, we'll just look at things, we'll figure out what the state.
Is it the motion for us to do it or?
Either one. Motion first. You do either one there. But that's the thing.
Jake, we have to specify whether we're doing it or using an outside source, or do you think we can do it?
If we do it, it'll be done a lot quicker.
Yeah, let's do that, Jake.
Can I make the motion that Jake?
Wait, let me finish reading. So if we do it, we get it out of the way, and then it's all solid. Otherwise, we'll be looking for this, that, and 2-3 months from now, then it'll be snowing, we're going to work. We see how quick we get fire hydrants done. All right, make a motion to have the village Department of Public Works cut the lawns on the areas that Bruce says he wants done.
Right, subject to just review by village council and make sure the process, you are where you want the process of the nuisance statute.
What Nino said.
Yeah. We can't just send them a bill.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's the
Point of
motion.
order, do we know if this is, any of these
We
properties
can't
are
have
senior?
The point of order.
Okay, point of order. Do we know if any of these are senior citizens that just need assistance, or are they not? Was that confirmed?
They're not.
They're
They're not.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Point of order, can you get Ward Street to across from the firehouse? That's another one that's growing up there. I missed that one, Bruce.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It's encroaching the sidewalk and I have trouble walking through there.
Yeah, I know, I've already got that one addressed. but
We'll have
I'm
3
waiting for
minutes.
response.
We'll have 3 minutes. All right, the next one is the all.
Yeah,
Wait, you have any motion?
I made a motion, but I never
Make
heard
a
a second.
motion that I said before to have the Department of Public Works.
I make a motion to have the Department of Public Works mow the lawns that have been
All right, just said.
addressed per the building inspector, subject to the village council reviewing the process and making sure that we are at the right point in the process to do that.
Thank you, that was just said before. Let's go. Cynthia? Stephen? Okay.
Budget workshop.
Thank you, Jay. All right. All board meetings.
Budget workshop.
All right, budget workshop. We just did that.
Nope, we didn't
Did
set
we
the
just do
date.
that? All right, the budget workshop.
Monday, July 27th, Monday, August 10th, Monday, I'm sorry, I'm lying. Tuesday, July 14th, Tuesday, October 13th, Tuesday, January 12th, and Tuesday, April 13th.
That's just, you did it.
Those are
That's a
budget,
suggestion.
or financial work sessions, whatever you want to call it. 7/14, 10/13, they're all Tuesdays, 1/12, and 4/13.
Are these before-
Budget/financial.
Are these before those more things?
They are alternate Tuesday.
At what time?
Whatever time we decide on works for that, yeah, which needs to be done now. I think being that we can televise them and stream them and do sessions in which people can come and watch or stream, but not, we want a public comment in, it should be during the workday, which I know is inconvenient for some of us, but if we're planning that far ahead. Right, I think I'm not gonna make them come in, and the department heads come in outside of the workday if we're trying to get a more cohesive thing. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and then some of us won't be able to make them.
Right. What time, there's 3 department heads right here, what time gives
6
everybody
o'clock.
enough time
6 o'clock.
to get going during
We're
the
gonna
day?
have it over 6 o'clock.
We were discussing during the
What's
day.
that? Who, me? No, I don't care what time. Just, tell me when I'll be there.
I would say make those for 10.
As long as it's not
Okay,
August.
okay, enough time to get settled and break for a minute and then.
Right, and then if things bleed over longer than they're supposed to, there's plenty of time left in the workday to get through it.
Okay.
Mine only day, August 6th through 16th, I am gone.
Okay.
Well, July and then October, so you got.
No, we're,
Okay.
yeah, we're good. Don't worry, we've checked your vacation days. Okay, so 10 a.m. on the dates in the email, and I'll re-email them to you. Good? Okay. I'm gonna make a motion.
Board committee, what we,
Nobody's
Oh,
motioning.
what?
Yeah, you just scheduling that, right?
Yeah.
So it's not, like, you don't make a motion that.
Water committee meeting based on feedback from Jake and Walt Blakey and Karina. I think we landed on the 8th of July.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we have one other person.
Yeah, Mike,
Do you
Mike,
know how to contact him?
I believe I have
Who's the
to
other
see
person?
that.
The
I'll reach out
gentleman
to
on
him.
the water committee. I didn't know who it was.
Like Hipsman.
go,
Hipsman.
Yeah, Mike Hicksman. Works for city or, it's either the city or town of Newburgh.
city, yes.
City?
Do you have contact information for him?
I'm sure I have his email.
Okay.
I'll get it.
Next up is the all board meeting, which I've been trying for a long time to get.
Hold
I
on.
think we only had one.
Excuse me, Mike, I'm sorry, I really don't mean to interrupt you. Did you want to put a time out there while everybody's here, Jake? Do you have a
I'm sorry, what
preferred
was
time-
that?
Preferred time for that?
Just whatever works for everybody else.
Walter?
Anytime after 4.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Karina can probably make that. That
4?
is not late, too late, cutting into your off time?
I'll make it work, yeah.
Okay. Okay, sorry.
DWSP to all board meeting. Yeah, all boards meeting. Okay. That I've been trying to get for years. We had pushed it, when I was a trustee here, we had one. There was never one before that, there was, I guess, no interest at that time, but we did have one, that was pretty productive. A lot of us didn't know what the other boards were doing. I thought it was good. So I'm for this. I'm definitely for an old board meeting. Some of the people you didn't even know any other boards, they've been there for years. So I'm for this.
In the majority,
Schedule, Debbie, if you could schedule something for
Can-
an old board meeting to get them together.
can the majority of this board meet on either July 27th, August 10th, or August 24th? It's a Monday.
For what?
For an all-board meeting, because I asked, when I sent this out to everybody on Wednesday, to ask Debbie to send out a Google form for everybody to check which one they were available to all of the board members to see where we could get the most people, and we can start there. If you only have half the members, it's better than no meeting and no people, and we can go on from there.
And do you want everybody from each board member, or do you want just 2 members, the chairperson?
Last time we had everybody here.
That's anybody that wants to come.
More the merrier. I'll make some cookies.
You can't do Google. That's not that meeting.
Outlook,
What
poll,
were those
whatever.
dates again?
July 27,
August 10th.
August 10, or August 24.
When does school start back up again?
September.
I don't know, I just got up today, not soon enough.
Which is July 10th, July.
July 27th. August 10th and August 24th.
Does anybody weigh any of those dates? Even?
I don't know.
You don't have anything going on, you kids.
July 22nd, I'm okay for it now. I think so.
I said, oh, July 27th, yes.
July 27th, this time, I'm okay. What time?
Probably evening, because a lot of these people work.
Now, this is what happened the last time. We had something that everybody was on vacation.
So we'll say 6. Well, we'll take however many we can get to start it, and then it'll grow.
Which one did we shoot for?
Let's do July 27th at what time?
I think we should send out a form with these 3 dates, and that's it, and just at the time.
Yeah, well, I'm just
Yeah.
looking at my after one so far. The other ones are the month.
No, it's not gonna be 6 o'clock.
No, let's just send out a,
Okay, we got your choices.
does 6 PM work for everybody? Yeah. You know, what's yours, I mean, I don't really need it either, but.
Probably, yeah. Probably know those nights already.
Okay. Oh. No. Okay, so we can send out a 6 PM Google poll or whatever for those dates. Okay.
All right. DWSP2 update.
Okay, so we applied for the DWSP2, yes, multiple times, and we have been accepted into the program. We had the first, scoping meeting with the county, via Teams,
Just let them know what it is.
drinking water source protection program. So it's aligned with all of the things, comprehensive plan updates, zoning updates, planning board updates, all of the things we want to address and identify our drinking water sources, protect them, have wellhead protection, identify additional sources of water, and mitigating treatment of water and all of those fabulous things that go along with our drinking water. So I know this is a hot button topic for everybody for many, many years. We have been accepted into the program finally. It is a cooperative effort that requires a couple of large and small meetings. So they've identified, the county has identified, along with Scott Cecina, our village engineer, a list of people that have been submitted from the beginning, both from former trustee Kevin Canero and then myself, and then with Scott's input from the village and a couple people from the town, because the aquifer and the water does not have boundaries, so it flows everywhere. It was suggested that we do have someone from the town, so someone will be reaching out to the town to ask who from the town would be the most appropriate person to represent the town's interests or opinions about what's going on. But it'll be a series of meetings that will start at the end of the month, and it has been, I'm just gonna pull it up so I can read, sorry.
End of June?
The village has been accepted into the New York State Department of Health Drinking Water Source Protection Program. They are looking to have a meeting with the stakeholders, as they refer to them, which includes a few people. They're scheduling a virtual meeting with a broader group of community members to discuss the next steps. The list of stakeholders that came out of our initial conversations is in this email, which I will read to you guys. And we're just kind of doing some scoping to get in touch with a few people, including the mayor, the planning board chair, the DPW head. Greg is also on that list, obviously.
Yes.
The town conservation advisory council, you if you were, Mark, if you are available. So I'll be reaching out to some of these people, and the water committee, which is why we're trying to fast track the water committee meeting so that we can have everybody kind of working and doing everything they need to do. It's an opportunity to really identify what our goals are, what our shortcomings are, what we need to be planning for, what we need to be addressing immediately, and then what our long and short-term plans are for funding. So it does give us a leg up because we will have all these plans and assessments done on behalf of the community as a whole. It gives us a leg up in additional grant funding and planning projects. So it doesn't mean we're getting $10 million. It could mean we come up with a plan that's $10 million and then we have to figure out how to fund it, but it is a cooperative and structured program to help us move the needle forward in identifying our water sources, additional and existing, and protecting them properly.
Crosswalks with the DOT.
I have not received anything back from them. That's been an ongoing customer constituent concern that's been brought up at meetings and followed up in emails. We have had some team meetings with them about eliminating a couple of parking spots and the ability to put crosswalks on our streets, but being very thoughtful about how many we put, so it's not crosswalk, impeding any flow of traffic. But I think that that's something that we should really be pushing forward with along with the New York Forward Streetscapes and placemaking portion. So we should identify some funding in there for our streets to put crosswalks, on Charles and on Princeton and places like that across.
The state did come out and repaint theirs.
Yes, I did see that. But I did put in a inquiry again to the people that I have been dealing with at the DOT about, again, crosswalks, walkability, really pushing them on maintaining the shoulders of the roads, and if they're not going to streamline the process so that we are able to do that. But I have not received a response yet.
I am gonna ask the police department to put that radar sign out again. It's been out a while. It needs to get out there, that's what it's there for, so, we'll go around and, consider the processing compliance for outside monitoring of KSH. KSH definitely needs to be, really need to keep an eye on that. That's the last development in this village, and if you make a mistake, that's there forever.
So there was a document shared last Wednesday about the monitoring process and what was included. Did you have a chance to review it?
I think she's asking you that question.
Yes, it's that.
I didn't.
So I would think based on the compliance and oversight that's required, we need the building inspector to make contact with the current developer and identify who the monitor will be. And that would be the first step, which is outlined in this. So I don't know if we need to make a motion to approve this policy or this procedure.
Well, we could adopt the policy, probably should motion to adopt.
Wouldn't the planning board be around this?
No, the planning board signs off on the site plan. That's the end of the planning board's oversight. It's on us. It says it in the resolution we just accepted. we need a liaison to oversee that person and make sure that they're available and compliant.
Where we have in mind, should probably get a vote.
So would it be Jake and George?
That's up to you all.
So it would be the building inspector.
Yeah, so you got the building inspector, I mean, they've already agreed they've got to go to, so the building inspector would go out there and check, and make sure that.
Are they providing escrows for this as well? Yeah.
Right.
Escrows, are they
I
paying?
hope so, I hope so, because they didn't the last time, they owed us $60,000.
Right.
That was on for 5 years.
No. For them to pay,
Monitor, yeah.
monitor, it says that they have to provide their own.
Okay, but so they are.
We're looking to have a liaison that's tracking it.
Yeah, so that's it. You want to point, that's up to you. We want to point internally.
With that liaison override our building inspector?
The building inspector has say.
It should be the building inspector.
Yeah, that's what, that comes with the job.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to appoint them, I mean, it comes with the job.
I mean, it could be an engineer also, right?
It could be your village engineer, your village building inspector. I mean, whoever the point person is, who should be monitoring what's being done on site.
Did everybody read this?
I did.
Does anybody have any questions or changes?
So I was just wondering, instead of building inspector, can it be an engineer that communicates with the person that they appoint?
The only way I agree with that is if they pay for it. If they pay for the engineer, you paid enough money for KSH. Enough village taxpayer money. You wouldn't get that in your own private property. Now we're gonna hire an engineer to keep an eye on this stuff?
It's not AI, it's communication.
I understand, but it's costing village taxpayer money. We spend money like it's nothing here. They're building something. You wouldn't have that in your own private property. Okay, we're gonna pay for an engineer to make sure you do everything right. They've agreed to it. We have a building inspector. If they pay for an inspector for us to send over there, that's fine. But village taxpayer money, no.
Can we take some time and review this and find out who's paying for it or what they?
They're not paying for it. They have to pay their monitor. That's what's in the resolution. And
Then it should fall under.
if we don't have someone who's actively engaged with their monitor, then we're not doing our due diligence to make sure that we're overseeing what's going on there. And that's how we end up with the second floors on buildings that shouldn't have section floors.
No, I disagree with you on
Pay
that.
money for KSH.
I disagree with you on that because we were paying so much money for lighting studies and sound studies until I finally said enough of it. Enough of it. We had them, we had them pay $60,000 of back taxes and monies that they owed us that were flowed out there for 5 years. Now everything that they do, they have to pay for. So now I'm not gonna go ahead and want to hire an engineer out of my tax dollars to make sure they do their job right.
This is already in versus job description.
What?
This is already in versus job description.
Yeah, he's a building inspector.
You have the time to do it first?
Yeah, I hope he does, because it's not gonna be our
I can
money.
handle it.
Think about it. What if this guy costs $500,000?
So we have
We're spending $500,000, so should they obey the law? No, it's ridiculous. It's, again, taxpayer money spent.
It is taxpayer dollars. Nobody's arguing that. It's also taxpayer dollars to pay the building inspector. It's all taxpayer dollars. But I do think that this is a very large concern that's been addressed by the village residents, especially ones that live over there. So I want to make sure that we do this right. And I think the rest of the board agrees. So the purpose of the procedure is to establish a clear process for oversight, communication, reporting, and public engagement regarding compliance with the conditions, covenants, restrictions, mitigation measures and approval requirements associated with the development project, commonly known as KSH. This is an opportunity, again, to make sure we're doing something right from the very beginning, so we aren't trying to chase our tails and say, hey, wait, this isn't what we said. Hey, wait, you're storing too much salt. Hey, wait, you're using the wrong thing. Like, we don't want any of that to happen without us knowing. So we need to make sure that our building inspector is engaged. So this is a procedure that
But I
make
don't
sure
want to
we're
spend
outlining
a
that.
fortune to hire an engineer to go over here and do that. That's a village inspector. You don't hire somebody to go ahead and make sure the guy behaves. You don't put somebody in the car with the driver to make sure he doesn't go over the speed limit. There's laws out there.
I would like to see us adopt this policy and make it, and give it to Bruce, so that
That's
he's
what I
empowered
said
to
right from the
everything
beginning,
that-
give it to Bruce.
He's empowered with all the responsibility.
What I said right from the first, right 10 minutes ago, we started this conversation.
But I need to speak to you now.
Spend money on it.
Just want it on the record. So this make a motion to adopt this as a policy and share it with the building inspector and hear something back from the building inspector at the next meeting about.
I don't think we have to make a motion, that's his job. See, that's his job. That's his
But
job.
this is a
That's like
specific
making a
policy.
motion to have a police officer make an arrest.
I'll second
It's
the
part of
motion.
his job, it's not necessary to make
We're
a
not.
motion.
It is
You're
good.
not wrong, except that this is a policy specific to this development and it's very important.
I second.
Bruce, will you do your job?
Yeah,
Okay, there we go.
Do you know what we're asking you? Have you seen this document yet?
yeah. It'll be monitored, I'll give you reports, everything will be set.
But have you seen this document yet? Have you seen this document yet?
I'm not worried about it.
Bruce, have you done these before?
Yes,
Okay,
not worried about it.
but there you go.
It'll be taken care of, if done right.
I'll turn
There
it
you
up.
go.
There's a motion on the floor, right?
Or you can, I mean, look, this is, he's gonna do that anyway, the inspector, because the developments, unless the escrow provisions of your code and for development establish that the applicant, i.e. developer, has to pay for it, then it's the building inspector's only job and obligation to go monitor those conditions as part of the planning board approval. So he has to do that regardless, right? But if you as a board want to pay extra attention and be mindful, that listen, you're directing him to be mindful of the situation, make sure you comply, if they comply with the conditions, you can direct him to do so, but he has to do that anyway. So if you want to change this policy, I don't think it's something you need to vote on, just direct him to the building inspector to monitor the conditions and make sure they're fulfilled with this project. He has to do it anyway. That changes when, if you hire an outside engineer, usually the developer would have to pay for that. But I don't
That's
know
what I'm saying.
Right, but when I sell the work, we pay for everything. We don't have the village or the town pay for anything because it's all baked into the approvals where the applicant has to pay for the town or village engineering cost, the village's attorney, they pay for all the review, resolution, reports, studies. So I don't know how that was done here, but to this point, if you have something you want to share with the building inspector, say, listen,
Yeah.
direct the building inspector to monitor that project, make sure they comply with the conditions, and if you want to forward this to him, by all means, he should have a copy so you know exactly what.
You know, they were paying for the village, was paying for studies, for traffic studies, for lighting, for noise. It was coming out of our money. For this guy, for this company. We don't do that. You want to put something there, you pay us. And we gotta change the whole thing around. I'm not for going ahead and hiring an engineer when we have a certified, competent guy here doing this.
Before we move on, can I bring one more point? So we have communication from somebody that was on, used to be on the pickleball committee back in the past, and there was pickleball rules and regulations that were going to be posted. And we had already approved it, and they approved it again. 3 times it's been approved, and in 2025 it was approved, and Mr. Wilbur was gonna build the sign. It never got done. So because of the conflicts that are going on, I think it would be very helpful if we actually got that sign put up.
Fusion
What
Reps
was
gave us
for you
proof.
was that you were supposed to get signs.
Nope.
No, that was Randy agreed to make it so.
Well, they never got that.
Right. So my point is, can we just pick it up, not this Randy will.
No.
So can we just pick it up and can I get some bids for the sign?
Fusion Graphics sent over proof to be approved. It was never approved by the person that needs to approve everything before the money's spent. It's
Okay.
not my
Whatever
signature.
you
Then Randy
go-
Wilbur,
I just want to know, can we?
you're asking, I'm telling you. Then Randy Wilbur said he would make the signs, then he never did. So there is a proof available at Fusion Graphics, but the expenditure needs to be approved.
That'll be the first one, but there's also 2 other sign companies I'm gonna get so we can get a lower bid. If there's a lower.
You're
Is
on.
everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Leo, don't we have to get a lower bid if we've been doing the same business with the people a long time, they've been producing stuff, we have a good relationship with them, and they're fair.
It's up to you, if you want to change that, it's up to the board. You want to change that,
I
so.
mean, it's a local business.
So I believe we're required by law to get multiple bids, right?
No.
Is the service contract?
It's just to get a sign made for the pickleball courts.
We can shop it local.
Well, they're all local. I
I
thought we had a fiduciary responsibility to get multiple bids for.
Not, that depends on your procurement, that's up to Kate for a situation now. So you guys see what your procurement policy says, some procurement policies, say you have to get a couple of votes, and
We
that's.
do not need to get this.
Perfect.
We don't need that.
Never mind.
We do not.
You gonna do my homework,
There
Stephen?
you go. As long as the village doesn't have its own policy for that.
Wait, last thing, make sure the handout's on the next agenda, because it's ready. And I'll email my, and that's it.
Have a motion to have a handbook ready for approval next meeting.
Make a motion to have the handbook ready for approval at the next meeting.
I'll second.
I can't hear any of this.
Cannot vote to August.
Oh, we made a motion to have the handbook ready for the vote on next week.
Has everybody read it?
Yep.
Yep.
And you'll give it the input? I haven't seen one.
No, we're all happy. We're all happy. My response was
No changes for the handbook? I haven't gotten any.
Okay, guys, moving on, I'm going to give an update of what I
Sorry,
got. Sorry.
is that motion passed? So
I made a motion.
there's a motion to provide the handbook on the next agenda for approval.
Second.
I did second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, I always go through between the last meeting and this meeting, happenings in the village. Solicitors. We're getting solicitors like crazy. They're not allowed unless they have a ID tag. That ID tag comes with a background check and they have to pay a fee. I could care less if they pay 2 cents. I want to know that this guy has got a background check on him, that he's not a child molester or burglar or whatever. He comes in, he signs a form, he gets a full police background check. I tried to stop soliciting here in the past. It went on for about 3 or 4 months and the governor's office shot it down. So we have to allow solicitation. There's nothing I can do about it. But they're walking around, they're being a little bit arrogant, they're selling solar, now mosquitoes, now grasshoppers. And then something just before I came here, they were trying to sell something. Contact the police. They're not allowed to. You cannot have this village just drop off everybody and start selling this stuff. So solicitation, they've got to have a peddler's permit. I brought this up at the last meeting and I'll bring it up again. You go to 84 and Beaver Dam Road, what a nice smell of sewage. What a nice smell. I also want to mention on June 5th, because I walk all over this village, I saw our DPW workers go over to somebody's private property and pick up all the garbage that flew into the bushes and all around on private property. They didn't have to do that. But what they did was they had the foresight to say, that stuff's going to blow down the street. That's what kind of people we got working here. They didn't know I was there. They didn't go, here's the mayor, let me do it. No, they didn't do that. Events coordinator, Tracy Casey is in the process of working on a deal with the Operation Toy Train to get new windows for the caboose down here. In Maybrook, Mayor Leahy has the Department of Public Works maintains a beautiful caboose and over at Kennebunk Hall too. In speaking with other mayors and supervisors, I'm hearing that there may be a way for New York State to forward monies to the community for blacktop on state roads, as long as the municipality performs the work. I will check further. But that would be nice if they gave us the money to blacktop Union Street. Now, I am very check with my managers. If he says he don't want to do it, he's my boss. But if we could get that, if there was something, could you do that?
No,
You couldn't, you wouldn't have the.
no, we don't want the equipment to blacktop.
We could work something in there. It's just.
I mean, if we can hire an outside company and.
I never thought of that. That's a
and
good
then,
idea too.
Yeah, we pay them and we get the money back, that's one thing.
This is just what I heard from other mayors and supervisors. So if we could do that, that'd be a nice way out. Because right now, the best blacktop we have is then working up the road, paving over, at least your right tire lights smooth. Okay, here's another thing. The lawsuits are pouring in by the hundreds regarding the LA fires of Mayor Karen Bass, failure to protect its citizens. I'm pretty good friends with a personal attorney in this personal injury attorney in this county. He has commercials on local TVs and billboards. I've known this guy for years, since I was a rookie. I asked him about our fire hydrant situation. His response was, your village was made aware of this life or death situation and did nothing? I explained about the bonds, the bans, the fund, all the fund balances. He said, enough, you did nothing, so you can't help the village. Okay? Street vendors. We travel a lot. Street vendors are very common with weekend theme. Draws businesses to the community. The caboose would be a great place for menus, for information. Cold Spring has it. Beacon has it. Peekskill has it. Warwick has it. Charleston, South Carolina has it. They have venues. They come down on weekends. Tommy knows he goes to Beacon. You set them up. You want to bring business into this village? You set up you set up vendors. They come in on Saturdays, Sundays, whatever, set up municipal lots, they bring business to our businesses. We need to look into that.
Like a farmhouse?
Yeah, whatever, no, even more than that, sell whatever products. Nice things. Events coordinators in all the municipalities I went to got paid. Here we have volunteers, they got paid. So, that's it, it's just things I go around and I like talking to other, what's my forte, the police department. Stop talking wrong. So I go into places and I talk to them. I was just in Charleston, South Carolina, speaking to them down there. They have vendors all over the place. This brings business. That's it for me.
Can we outline, Jake, because we're putting out for this ban to fix the 3 hydrants. So can we talk about how everybody's going to be informed about when this is happening and how long people will have notice about when it's happening, when they won't have water, and where they can look to see this information?
Well, I mean, we're definitely gonna notify the people on the streets that we're doing it, because they're not gonna have water for that day. I mean, I already ordered the hydrants, I already ordered valves, I already ordered parts. As soon as I know,
Do you think that we will have anything moving before the next meeting, or?
as long as I get the okay that the money's there, then I don't see why not.
Do you have a date in mind as to when the work is gonna happen? Is it before the next meeting?
I just gotta make sure I can pay the,
So,
I gotta make
so
sure
when
I
it
can
comes
pay
to
the
banning
contract.
bonds, we have to make sure that we notify the public of different things. So the notice of adoption went out last week.
Yep.
We have to give the public ample time to respond. Once that period is over, 7 days, 7 to 10 days, then we have to put out a notice of estoppel. Once we do that, then the solicitation to banks can occur in order to get the lowest rate possible to get the ban.
So there's not a world in which all this is gonna be done before July 7th at our next meeting anyway?
No.
Okay, so at the next meeting, we can roll out a plan to clearly outline where you can look and approximate dates of when we're gonna do so everybody's aware of when they will not have water and when we'll be doing what.
Well, we're gonna notify the people on that street, hopefully the day before, that they will not have water, probably for the whole
You better
day.
I got a lot of kids home for this summer. I better
You don't have to
know
worry
the
about
day
it.
before.
You're gonna have
I'm not
water.
gonna have water, or they're coming to your pool.
Okay.
I like that, like, we can put it on
They're
our
going
dates,
to
or we
school.
can put it on our website, we can put it on social media. Worst case scenario, we can put them on the road signs, the.
That would be great. In the perfect world, Cynthia, the problem is, I can call the company, they say yes, we'll be there in the morning, they get an emergency, now they can't come until 3 days later.
Well, even if we gave a raise, but again, we don't have to do this now, but I'd be happy to.
Yeah.
Do that. Okay.
And we can use code red. So we'll have a plan to lay out next meeting, technically.
All right, we're opening up the public motion. Within 3 minutes. Yes, sir.
Okay, first, I want to thank the new treasurer. I think that was a great presentation. So you know, we've been asking for those things that you talked about for years here. The residents here have been asking for that. So I'm glad you're going to implement that. The only question I have for you, hopefully you can answer it, you kept referring to the reserve fund. Is that the fund balance that you're referring to?
The reserve fund is not currently established. There is no reserve fund specifically to address the end-of-year surpluses for the village.
Okay, you said something about 10% in the reserve.
So in the future, what we would move towards to as a village is to create those reserve accounts so we have a repository where we can track excess funds. That 10% was just a suggestion to the board to adopt a cap on those excess funds, because as a village, you don't want to keep the inventory of money endlessly.
Okay.
We're not in business to make money, and we're not trying to do that, so we can use that excess money above the cap to then put back into future budgets to reduce the tax levy and burden.
So simply, the reserve fund is not part of the fund balance.
Currently it is.
Okay.
Currently it's all I say.
Okay.
That's
I want to make sure of that. And hopefully maybe at the next meeting, if you come to, you could update us on what actual cash on hand and fund balances, we got all kinds of numbers here. Maybe we could clarify that. Number two, Butler. It's been out there for a very, very, very long time. Butler has finally been approved and they've moved over down on Dunn by the airport. What is the village doing about the current location on 211 and 416? The place is a mess. I know that there's problems down there that you people
I'm already addressing it, giving them a timeline, it's not taken care of by the timeline, and we're closing down on Dunn Drive.
Okay, because I believe that the code, there are only about 4 vehicles on that property.
There's gonna be none.
Well, that's the ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
Has anything been issues? I didn't hear the beginning, I'm sorry. I can't hear.
It's not taking care of it. Yeah. It's getting done, and if they don't get it done, they'll close down the facility to have it.
Yeah, just a reminder, when this Butler project was approved, that was a few years back, we talked about the gateway to this village, and here we are. And I'm hopefully that you guys could come up with some sort of plan to eliminate that whole thing and have the gateway actually exist. My third comment is back on the budget. I have a lot to say about it, but I'm just gonna, you guys have behaved pretty good today, so I'm not gonna stir the pot too much. But I wanna say this, that, you know, Mike, I think it would have been nice, helpful, transparent, if you did bring it back to your board after your conversation with the county or whoever you had a conversation with, you did bring it back to the board, and in turn brought it back to us residents, because there was 3 meetings after the budget was adopted that you could have brought it up to us and you never did. I would say
I'm not sure what's going
the 5.9 versus 17.6, or whatever number you guys want to put on it. Okay, people did not know about that until they received their tax bill. I have people coming where I live, coming up to me, Don, what's going on? So it would have been nice if you were more transparent, and I don't think you were. I think you were fearful about being transparent.
Time's up.
No, I was interrupted. You guys talked. Did you take that into consideration? No, you did not. Were you kidding?
Come on.
The other thing I would say about that, you said, I think someone on your board brought up, what could have been done? Well, if you had asked me that question, I would say, you bring it back to your board, maybe you could use more money out of the fund balance to ease the pain. Or maybe you could have brought it back to your budget.
I did mention that in the last meeting or the meeting before.
Respectfully, we're doing really good this meeting, as you just said.
I did what?
Respectfully, we're all doing very well this meeting. It's been 3 minutes. Can you please wrap it up? Respectfully.
He didn't take into consideration.
Well, I
wasn't that
just, so let me, I'm controlling the meeting.
Don't we take that into consideration?
Don, in reference to your last, Don, in reference to your, I did bring that up. I did say you could bring it out of the fund balance. It was written there, it is on tape. I did suggest that. And as far as being fearful, this place, I'm not, no fear here. I've seen fear. Okay? I've
Was it
seen fear.
suggested to you by the county that you reassess your expense lines and maybe go into a quasi reduction on your expense line? Maybe I brought that back to your board, and maybe that's a way that, again, ease the pain. Because I talked about how the seniors here are getting killed. They're getting killed, Mike.
I'm a senior too.
Thanks. I have one pension. You have quite a few.
Because I arranged that.
That's fine. No problem. Most people don't.
Forget this shot.
Let's reiterate, just process-wise, if you guys want to entertain public comment.
That was my fault.
But I don't know if it was wrong, but my thing is, it's got to be 3 minutes applied, use public to everyone. So what I would recommend to all of you is let the speakers have your 3 minutes, let them speak, ask questions. You don't have to respond. Actually, there's no requirement for you to respond. But after 3 minutes or the first 3 minutes, if you want to add something, that's what you do. That way, you don't take away the gentleman's 3 minutes. But everyone has 3 minutes, and that's it. So that's just procedurally, if you're going to have public comment, it should be applied equally across the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I apologize, my fault. Next up. Joe.
Hello. My name is Brianna. I work over at the Borland House Bed and Breakfast.
Don't trip.
Right across the street, I ran over because you actually said something that has interested me. And I've been working on plans for a whole year. I've talked about it with Anna. I actually wanted to study meeting with you guys. I wanted to host a farmer's market over at the Borland House. I believe that we need to have better events that aren't just at the park, just for people in the village walking wise, and more so that people are actually coming into the businesses on Clinton Street. Unfortunately, sadly, we did lose the book exchange, and we can make it a lot better in terms of supporting the businesses on Clinton Street. We have 8 restaurants. We're doing a food truck festival, but we have nothing shop-wise. So I would like to sit down, maybe in a meeting with the board and you, and set up maybe discussion of planning for a vendor's market or a farmer's market at the Borland House accessible. I'm good. I'm out of breath. I ran over here.
Do you have any of our contact information?
No.
Okay.
I can wait till after. That's okay.
We can share it.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll share it.
Okay. Clara, you all can share it.
Vanessa?
Hi, is this good? Is this good? It's fine. I wanted to follow up with last week's meeting. There really does need to be a clear policy on protocol of people calling attorneys, engineers, that sort of thing. Not every FOIL request, email, or routine question needs an attorney copied on it, followed by phone calls that generate even more billable time. Trustees are members of a board. You are not individual decision makers. Asking questions is one thing, but individual trustees should not be directing consultants requesting legal opinions. I foiled bills, 2 months worth of bills, over $30,000. Nothing major's happening here. $30,000 for 2 months. 85% of those bills were phone calls, picking up. Foils are now, people are now foiling him, sorry, Lino, on every foil. That's ridiculous. And Lino, I'm sure you enjoy us being a cash cow, but it's really not right. And you know it. You represent other municipalities. It's not right. Furthermore, on another note, I also foiled the village checking accounts and or all accounts. Maybe 16. I'm waiting for some more information. One account has over $2 million in it, and that was at the end of May. In that statement that did not include taxes, it did not include water. $2 million in one account, Don. Okay? Another account had over $100,000. Another one had 20. This goes on and on. I have them. You can see them if you'd like. Most of those accounts were for bonds that have money left over. We didn't send the money back. Nope, we made our 30%, our 30 cents interest every quarter on the little bit that was there. It's ridiculous. We have $20,000 in your sidewalk account that you asked. 21 years. And I know you spoke to him today too, because I spoke to him. 21 years, $20,000 has been sitting there. You guys should be ashamed that you don't know this. And as far as the budget goes, not one of you looked at the top line and said, we seem to be starting at much more than last year. I mean, guys, you're all responsible. Every single one of you are responsible. And you have to start by admitting that if you're going to start getting along. And really quick, I know I only have 10 seconds left. Apparently campaigning has started. I've seen videos, I've seen posts. The bully word, the harassment is coming up. I'm only bringing this up because my name was mentioned. Please. I don't think I've ever seen you two maybe once outside of here. Randy, I see you and I mention you because you are the one that posted it and you mentioned my name. Second time you've done it, don't. Because I'm going to tell you something, Randy. Right here, I find it so interesting that a relationship 40 years ago, 40 years ago, and she mentions a wedding. If we're going to mention things, I can mention things. Okay? It's ridiculous. Oh, and by the way, inside these walls is the only time I talk to her, or you guys, and it's about village business. Outside, never.
Thank you, sir. Next up.
Before I speak, there was a walk-in tour by the Boy Scouts by Frank Myers. I'm surprised that none of you trustees mentioned that. That was a really great thing.
That wasn't mentioned. It was
And,
mentioned a lot.
I do want to recognize that. And also the Borland House there, something educational that I got in that thing. Mr. Borland actually donated the money for this village hall, donated for the Riverside Park down there. I just think that in the future, when we name a street or something, you might want to consider that name.
Yeah, I guess it was Mayor.
Now I'll go with my thing. Good evening. Tonight I'm going to recap a few items that we accomplished over the past year. We have disposed of about $30,000 worth of senior citizen gym equipment that was deemed unsafe by the village insurance company, yet no one can produce one bit of stationery to confirm this. We changed the speed limit on Boyd Street from the post office to Goodwill Road, and maybe at this meeting, the speed limit on Railroad and Tompkins may have also been changed, not done. We have rebuilt the Girl Scout gazebo, which was dilapidated and now back to its original beauty at the entrance of the pleasure grounds, next to one of those great landmarkers that Eagle Scout Frank Meyer did. We have fixed numerous hydrants that were broken for many years and have a few more to go, but finally making progress. We are going to be better at maintaining and reporting the hydrant system in the future due to the funding it properly. We are addressing concerns of streetlights staying on 24/7 at Chambers Court. We are checking our budget numbers and keeping track of our expenses. Have you heard me say we enough? Fact is, I asked a trustee, with the exception of streetlights, which trustee Andolsek addressed me right away, I am told to ask Debbie or Jake. Truth of the matter is, we are no different than people calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK commercial. We call Jake or Debbie and magically anything is done, and anyone taking credit for these needs to check their ego. It's a shame that we are doing it, all we are doing is making it complicated with micromanaging. It is like calling 1-800-GOT-JUNK and then questioning where they are taking it, how they are doing it, and getting in the way of getting the job done. We spent a year talking about hydrants and arguing over $125,000 in the budget. That's almost $8 million. I'm not really good at math, but that's less than 0.1% of our budget. But then again, none of you are good at math either. We argue over the cost of car washes, policies, handbooks, training, agendas, and the list goes on and on. In case you haven't understood me yet, the we that I'm referring to is the entire board. I'm sure we are digitally and urgently working to correct outdated building codes and parking regulations. I'm sure we are looking at protecting our tax base from losing properties off our tax rolls due to exemptions like pilot programs that go way past their original design or religious exemptions. I remember during the campaign a couple of years, all of the candidates, all of them, about warehouses raising taxes, open government, public comment, and participation in budget management. This is the end of the school year, and if you were getting a report card, you would be repeating the 5th grade because you are not smarter than 5th grade. On another note, I'll be 10 seconds. On another note, you may want to think about your interactions with each other and the trickle-down effect. Something is wrong when you have people leaving jobs that historically, once they get them, they never leave until retirement. A couple major ones are DPW supervisor, village clerk, village treasurer, multiple police officers, and others. Something is wrong, and I believe it is the dysfunction of the board that is bleeding through to its employees. When there is a toxic environment in the workplace, at the top, it trickles down and starts employees fighting amongst themselves, which normally wouldn't. I was in business for 41 years and have been involved with fire organizations for 50 years, so I have seen it firsthand. Maybe get an unbiased opinion, a panel to do exit interviews with employees where they can speak freely and identify issues. Thank you.
Connolly, and he asked, is there any way he can get a sign up by his neighborhood that says in memory of Heather Collins? I don't think there's a kid around here who wasn't raised and had his child here. So I think that's something we should consider for the future. If it's gotta come out of the mayor's budget, I have no problem with that. So I just want to keep that in mind for people to think about this. Yes, sir.
We're hearing criticism and accountability being labeled as bullying. That's just not accurate. It's a tactic. It's a way to try to shame people into staying quiet by turning legitimate concern into something improper. But asking questions, pointing out problems, and holding elected officials accountable for their actions is not bullying. It's the foundation of representative government. Bullying is about intimidation and personal attacks. Accountability is about actions, decisions, and public responsibility. Those are not the same thing, and we shouldn't let anyone blur that line for their own comfort. When public servants start labeling criticism as bullying, what they're really saying is they don't want to be challenged, and that's exactly when the public needs to speak the most. I'm going to skip over something I was going to say and move on to something else. Moving on to consolidation. If you're sitting up there, a public servant for the Village of Montgomery, and you even think that consolidations is worth a look, you need to resign now. You are literally willing to consider dissolution of the very village you're claiming to care so much for. It would be like Jalen Brunson calling for the end of the NBA. Eminent domain. I brought this up before. If you really want to have a joint sewer plant with the town, do it where KSH is going. Take the land by eminent domain as necessary for public wastewater treatment plant. Make the town front the fee payable to the landowner and put a shiny new plant there at the very edge of the village, not in the middle of a park where we're getting millions to spend on and a bridge coming across the river to the park. And welcome to our giant sewer plant. Maybe we'll sell NASCAR stickers and get sponsors to pay for some of that and put them on the side of the concrete or something. It'll be hidden in the woods. Some of you talk about parkland alienation. Well, expanding the sewer plant where it currently sits would certainly divert parkland away from the park, now wouldn't it? Rules and policy. You compose new rules about events, new forms to be filled out, and new fees. You mentioned them at a meeting, but I didn't see them posted anywhere. I don't remember ever seeing those rules or forms being voted on for adoption or implementation by the board. Maybe I missed it, but I don't remember seeing it. But if they were, you should know that after the last meeting, a couple of people sat outside of the senior center, which is park property, after the park was closed, in violation of the published rules, and engaged in commercial activity for some amount of time. My question is, was there an event form or rental agreement executed that overrode the trespassing on the park property law for being on the park property after hours? You see, just like parkland alienation discussions, these things you mean to use as swords against certain people always end up providing others with a shield. Open meetings violations. Last meeting, you guys came out and you said the quiet part out loud, that you have illegal meetings. You said when the mayor asked about the changes to the agenda, you weren't here, we decided that when we were in the back. Guess what you can't do outside the public eye, guys? Deliberate or take a vote. Because the public is entitled not only to your decisions, but the deliberation that goes into that decision. That means every text message, every serial meeting. Perhaps council will explain to you guys who don't know what a serial meeting might be. Serial like S-E-R-I-A-L meeting might be.
Thank you.
Emails, texts, calls, discussions are all public matters. Every deliberation that goes into every decision is a matter for the public. You can't go in the back and decide it and come out and say, you should have been here, Mr. Mayor. We decided that in the back just before we came out here. You can't do it. He knows you can't do it. You weren't here. You can't do it.
Thank you.
Don't say that.
Good job, guys.
I gotta raise my hands before I get up there.
Sure, okay. My name is Greg Roberts. I live on.
Just don't trip over that stuff.
All right. My name is Greg Roberts. I live on Water's Edge. I would like to request a better notification system for major work done on the street as far as the traffic. Notifications like what the high school does, like an email and text, that would be helpful because they did work in front of my house, laying out communication cables, but we didn't get a proper notification, and it happened the morning of, and nobody knew about it.
Yeah.
And there's still stuff that they left open on my lawn personally, like exposed wires. We called Central Hudson about it. They never came out to cover it. It's like an open wire, it's like, you know, like I don't know how to describe it. Junction exposed in front of my house. And a second request I have is street cleaning. If we could have like a bi-weekly or weekly street cleaner, because most of the time on my street, there's a lot of debris, like branches, just debris in general.
Jake,
So I don't know what you guys are doing about that. No, that's all I got. That's all I got this day.
Thank you.
We don't have a sweeper.
Oh, 164.
I'm borrowing one, and that's gotta go back, so.
No, I mean, I don't know how it works, but,
Yeah.
you know, I just want to throw it
Yeah,
across.
unfortunately, we don't have a street sweeper.
Who's been coming around in the yellow, sweet street, whatever? Yeah, somebody's been coming around.
Yes. We are borrowing that. That has to go back probably next week or the week after.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir.
I'm standing because 1926 Mark Twain said, your mind can only absorb as much as your rear end can endure. Two gentlemen ahead of me, they had their notes typed up. I don't have mine. I got chicken scratch. I don't even know what the hell I wrote most of the time. We spent 24 years up in Vermont. My wife and I, when I retired, we're back. We're back. She's a Montgomery, raised in Montgomery. We come back from Montgomery. I raised in Maybrook. I'm not going back to Maybrook. I'm sticking here. Up in Vermont, they got stuff going on up there. I read the papers up there right about where we lived, outside of Rutland, and you think their meetings are bad. This meeting here in Montgomery is like a church meeting compared to the meetings they're having up there. It's just unbelievable. As far as Jake is concerned, Jake, we ought to send you candy or flowers.
No more candy.
I don't know about the candy.
No more candy.
But you went through the hydrant, the asphalt, and you come out smelling like a rose. And we thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now they got you mowed lawn, so.
Now remember, it's not just me, it's my guys.
My wife has been preaching to me. She's on the computer and all that, reading all this stuff that's going on in the country and the world. And she come to the conclusion here a couple of weeks ago. I keep my mouth shut, as all males do in the household. But she come to the conclusion, what's going on here, what's going on in Vermont, what's going on all over the place. It's the United States wide. Everybody's got attitudes, everybody's tipped over everybody else, and they're ready to fight. So this is nothing new here. As far as the AEDs are concerned, it's nice. I think they ought to mandate that all the patrolmen are certified on the AEDs and make sure that Maybrook, I know a lot about Maybrook, they got an AED in every fire truck that they own. And July 5th, they're going to have a first aid class, and they're going to certify as many members of the fire department that they can to get certified with an AED. I'm looking around here. If I fell over right now, where the hell is an AED right now? Someday it's going to be in a police car. Well, I think this room should have it, downstairs should have it, all over the place. There should be 3 or 4 AEDs in this building alone. So I look forward to seeing that pass. As far as the fire hydrants are concerned, I think Jake and the present chief will get together and the flow test, you know a lot more about it than I do, and get the flow test included on the screens of every fire hydrant in the village. This gentleman asked me, he said, did you make it up the stairs? Well, Jesus, I was on my hands and knees just getting up here. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back down. So if something happened in this room that was catastrophic, at least the lights will go on there. And I'm going to nominate Bob, because I'm going to take this window and go out on the roof, and I hope he throws me the hell out the window. I'm being short. How many people in here? 35, 40? And we all had to go down them stairs and get out of this building? No way. No way. It would be like 9/11 trying to get out of those towers.
Sir, your 3 minutes is up.
Pardon?
Your 3 minutes is up.
I didn't hear you, but okay.
That's good.
I'm ready to quit. They're gonna phone me anyhow.
I gotta say one thing, for those that don't know, Charlie Shields is a past chief from Maybrook for many years in the fire department and also the police department. Wealth of knowledge, great guy. Thank you, Charlie.
I got a couple comments to make. All right, first one is on open meeting law. The agenda and the pamphlet should be sent out within 24 hours to general public, and that's not being done. When you talk about proposals and other information that the public's not aware of, it doesn't help us. All that, I looked it up, and all that packet that you're sent should be sent to us within 24 hours before the meeting. DSWP2, that is, let me get the notes here, I write the notes down, okay. That basically identifies and enumerates recommendations for drinking water, flood control, and water quality. There's another grant called the WQIP, Water Quality Improvement Project. That is what gives you the funds to implement what the DWSP2 lists out. So that's usually how you take care of that. So you'll be applying for that afterwards. Bob, I work for a company called Verisk, which was previously Insurance Services Office, ISO. They used to do the ratings, fire ratings. I worked on a project called Fire Chiefs Online. I don't know if you've heard of it. I think it's called Verisk Mitigate. I think that might help with Jake, where you can actually put in flow tests and other information on fire hydrants, and it goes to Verisk and it's available online. It's a free program. I can give you the
we do ISOs every few years, just so.
Well, this is we can talk after, but it's called. It may be what you're looking for. It may not be, but they may be able to point you in the right direction if you call. All right, how do we prevent another budget issue? Can the treasurer, not now, not on the spot, but can we come up with a way to prevent the kind of mistake that happened that caused this issue? That would be my question. Don't look in the past. What's done is done. We can't go back. But let's try to figure out how to prevent this from happening. And Stacy, I agree with you on this point. The whole board's at fault. They should on the budget. It's not one person. It's the whole board. You know, everyone should have looked at it. The numbers didn't match the percentage increase. But again, what's done is done. Let's look forward to prevent it. Because I'm not trying to say anything bad, but you could make the same mistake. And if we just depend on you for that percentage increase, we could be in the same position. There's nothing that stops anyone from making a mistake. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to, say anything, but, we can all make mistakes. And how do we prevent that from happening again? Parkland alienation, thank you, board, for reversing what happened. I don't disagree with what you said, Bruce, about, shut that off, everyone else came over. What you said about the opening we needed for the people, but there's a process that they failed to do, okay? So it's not the need for it, but the process wasn't done. There's a process to take away parkland, and it wasn't done properly. So, no, it had nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you at all. You didn't do it. There's a process, and that's where it went south, and unfortunately people on Marin's Court had to pay the price, and hopefully...
Well, 3 minutes are up, we're trying to keep it recorded.
Listen, nobody made 3 minutes, so... All right, I think I'm done, but, I hate to say it, you always pick on me for the 3 minutes, it's like nobody made 3 minutes, so... It's like...
You had 30 seconds left.
You pointed, that is all behind us, so I don't know. Hi, Sylvie Rinaldi. I have two questions. The first is about the events committee. In the last meeting, the mayor mentioned about appointing representative to the events committee, and then today there was also a mention of an events committee, so I would just like clarification. You don't have to answer this, but this is my request. Is there clarification from the mayor about whether there is an events committee or not, who is on it, their roles, and how to apply to be on it, or if the events committee is a private, non-for-profit, and we are mixing up the two? Because I am not clear from the mayor's presentation of events what we're actually doing with events in the village.
But you know what you've done.
Okay.
No, let her.
Just ask me something.
All right, do you have anything else?
I do, I have one more question. So I am really happy to hear the update from the new treasurer, so thank you very much. For those that don't know me, I'm a finance person, so this makes me very, very happy. I had a question about the updated internal meeting policy, and if that had an expectation to have financial reports on a monthly basis. I'll finish my question. And then my follow-up question is, my understanding is that the treasurer in this village reports to the mayor, and the mayor took office in April 2024, and why we have gone for 2 years with no monthly financial reports. Why has the mayor not directed the treasurer at any point in those 2 years to provide monthly financial reports to the board? I have concerns about that, and I'm also wondering if the internal meeting procedure now makes that a policy of the board to get those reports. I know I foiled for some in the past. At one point in March, I was denied or said a fund balance report or balance sheet didn't exist. I'm not really sure why that's the case, but maybe I asked for the wrong thing, but I'm hoping that you guys get those reports. So those are my 2 questions for this evening.
You live in town, right? In town.
I do. Is that
I'm
means?
just
I'm
asking.
just wondering if that
You
means
didn't say
anything.
your address,
I didn't know I had to say my address.
Yeah, you do. Okay.
Is there any rule
The
about?
first one, well, there's maybe 2.
Are you going to answer me differently because I'm a town
No,
resident?
the first one is, why weren't the monthly reports done? We should pass practice. It was past practice. I've been in this position a little over 2 years, and I just kept going and going. From the moment I walked in this door, I've been hit by just fire for every different location, every different thing. And it has not been easy walking the park here, okay? So now I have a treasurer here that is extremely competent, extremely qualified. He'll steer us in that right direction. So why they weren't monthly reports done? It's just I kept going, I didn't know any better, I didn't know. Okay? Second thing is there an events committee? There's an events coordinator. It's not paid, it's not private. She was appointed by me. She took another party with her named Lori Dahl. She's an events coordinator. She runs all the events volunteer in this village.
So there is a village events coordinator that volunteers on behalf of the municipality to run events. That volunteers on behalf of this board.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
just confirming that.
Absolutely. She runs the car show, which is now moved to Maybrook. She moved to the village of Maybrook. She runs, what? When we have an events coordinator, she made a committee after that for the caboose. She made a caboose committee. All different people helping. They were all volunteers. All volunteers.
Okay, and I know my 3 minutes is up. My question is, if there is an events coordinator and an events committee, does that mean any money raised has the oversight of the village?
She takes care of it. It's all done.
Okay, thank you very much for answering my questions.
So, I have to say I'm really disappointed in the budget discussion that took place tonight. Several meetings ago, you all voted on a budget of a 5% increase, and the villagers went along with you, maybe begrudgingly for some, but, it seemed to be okay, we were gonna go ahead with this. And now my village bill says that the increase is 17.6%, which is more than 3 times what. Please don't shake your head, Mr. Mayor, okay? But you didn't fix it. You didn't do anything to alleviate the burden that is now on the taxpayers. stake happened, there's nothing we can do about it, you guys deal with it. Has anybody looked at the economy recently? Second point, I don't know why you have the meetings here. I'm going to agree with my friend here that it was a difficult climb up the stairs. Are there not other places that we can have meetings? Montgomery Elementary School, the firehouse, Valley Central Board of Education building, the high school. And yes, you may need a certificate of insurance to go there, I don't really know, but is that such a hard thing to make it easier for the people whom you represent to attend the meetings? Here I am. If you think I got up here easily, you are incorrect. Thank you.
Well, to answer your question on that, I'll answer your question. To make it hard on the people the seniors, we have to give up that senior center for 10 days, so there's early voting. Why don't they go somewhere else?
Well, maybe that's something that you
Well, there
can
you
work
go.
on, but in the
Share the
meantime,
wealth.
Plan B in the meantime, and this is not.
Plan B would be having somewhere
This
else.
is not an
Downstairs
acceptable plan B.
television.
The second thing
For
about
anyone who
your,
can't make the stairs.
Excuse me?
Downstairs is set up.
Yeah.
With television.
And how would I have this conversation with you?
What?
How would I have this conversation with you if I was downstairs watching it?
Because there's someone down there that you could ask the question who would contact Debbie and ask the question.
Does that sound efficient to you?
It's one night.
Yeah,
One meeting.
it's one night. Montgomery Elementary School, the firehouse, et cetera, et cetera.
Community center. You have a building down there, use it.
the what?
The rec center.
Rec center.
Rec center. You know the building over there by the pickleball court?
Where's summer camp?
We had their meeting there.
Where the summer camp
Blue.
is.
Makes too much sense.
Thanks. My name is Walter Hookie. I had a very long email that I was going to send to the board, but in recent times, I've sent many emails to everyone on the board since you were so generous to get .gov emails, and I've received very few replies. So I'm not going to read that long email. There's certain things that have come up here that I do want to note. To the treasurer, welcome and thanks to Brian. Your observations, recommendations seem well-researched and objective. That's something we look forward to, a good change, objectivity around here. Mediation. I'm officially requesting an update on this board's progress on setting up third-party mediation as recommended by the ethics report. We all know, obvious to this meeting and every single meeting, you all need mediation. We all look forward to the date that that's going to happen. ADA compliance. I sometimes don't talk about the same thing that someone just talked about, but I think if you all hear it from multiple people, maybe it'll sink in. I request an alternate location when we do have to move the meeting. The voting is valid. We should not try to move it. We should keep it. But there's the firehouse. There are schools. There's the rec center. Other people mentioned those. I will mention them again so you hear them and maybe it sinks in. And allowing people to be downstairs and watch the stream is not acceptable. People cannot have this same experience to participate in their government if they're downstairs by themselves. Not acceptable. I will use the rest of my time to read some of this because these are points that I've thought about a lot in the last 2 weeks, and I was going to send this email, and some of you started off with a better tone, but I can't let a whole other 2 weeks go by without these points coming up. I write to this board as a unit in hopes that you will take creative action to work better together and present a more professional, cohesive environment for conducting the business of the village. Two things that I've been thinking about but I could not let go since the 6-2 meeting. The failure to follow Robert's Rules of Orders and procedure at this meeting. When someone makes a motion, it must be seconded, which it is, for discussion sometimes, and then it must be voted on. No board member, including the mayor, who did this at the last meeting, can try to speak over and not allow a vote. There's more here, but this is one part that really bothered me, and I know it bothered other people. No one on this board, none of the 5 of you, because I will address the 5 of you, should be saying the word stupid at an idea of another board member. And I'm not a religious person, but when I heard the mayor pound his fist and say, "God damn it," I am not a Christian. But there are many Christians here who I'm sure were offended, and if children were watching, that's unacceptable, and I can't let that go.
I'm a Christian too. I'm a Christian too, and I went to Catholic school, and I got my emotions got the best of me. But I still meant what I said. They need to be fixed. Yes, Doug?
Good evening, Doug Hantush, 2 Hanover Street. Since the last time I asked this question, it has been established that the building inspector did indeed sign off on the Hanover project. In the beginning, it was a big mystery, and everyone said he didn't do it. Well, now it's been established by both the building inspector and the planning board that indeed he did sign off on it. A procedure is supposed to be in place for the residents to challenge that decision and that acceptance of the Hanover project as it stands. There's supposed to be a form and a procedure. Mr. Lavelle and I have asked numerous times in writing, in text, and in personal visits for that procedure, and it has never been produced. Is there anything in place as of today?
For an appeal or?
Let him finish. 3 minutes, man.
He wants you to finish your 3 minutes and then he can respond.
I'm done. I asked the question. I think it's a simple yes or no answer.
Do we have an appeal process for that?
There's an appeal process to state law, okay, that with respect to appealing building inspector's determination. So it's set forth in the village law.
It's not here, it's not, you can't find it. So where can we tell E code for the state law? How do we search?
No, it's not, you have a provision, E code, it's also state law when it comes, anyone can appeal anything to the building inspector, as long as, again, if there's a determination that was made, you can appeal the zoning, you can, if you don't like that, then you can go to Article 78, once you exhaust your judicial remedies, but it's, so that process is set forth again. With all due respect to the council, if you wanted to challenge that, we know that information, okay, you can challenge the determination of the building inspector or any board. Is that the process for doing that if you're not satisfied with the determination that was made by this board, by planning board, by zoning board, you have an option under state law to do that. There's an appeal process to go through.
Right, but I've come up, like I said, Mr. Lavelle and I have both asked in text, in writing, and personally, what that procedure is and if there's a form, and every time I get shrugged.
And I'll just tell you, usually, for example, when I do appeals in other places, I write my own letter to the board appealing it. It's a letter, I put it in writing. I request that the appeal be heard of the building inspector, and that gets heard at the zoning board.
We did that.
Okay. Again, I can't comment when you did cert, that's before my time, but my point is.
No, it's not before your time.
No, but
It's
I'm
during
saying
your
is,
time.
you're talking
If you
about.
recall, you're the guy that accused me of trying to sue the village.
Yeah,
Remember
and
that?
I did, and I stand by that. If you want to sue the village or take an action, I'm not going to advise you basically how to do that. You have to go up with team council and figure out how to do that process. I'm not going to encourage you to sue the village.
I'm not asking for your encouragement.
You've
I
asked
just
the
want
question
an answer, and I want to challenge
multiple
something.
times. If you wanted to challenge.
A decision that I think was made
If you,
that will be harmful.
Excuse me, if you think you're aggrieved, you have a remedy at law. That's all I'm saying.
And where do I find that?
Again, if you're aggrieved, you can speak to council, you can do what you need to do. If you're aggrieved and you think there's an issue that was wrong here, you have the ability to do that in court of law.
So you're telling me I have to hire an attorney
I'm
to
not
do this?
I'm telling you exactly what I said. So
That's
I said it in court.
That's a good.
A typical answer from an attorney, thank you.
Well, ask them what the state code is from.
What is that state code, by the way?
Again, you can look it up, sir.
Thank you for your assistance. My tax
Just like the rest of the board.
My tax dollars way
Fit
spent.
right in.
Once again,
Fit right in.
Mike, once again, I ask a simple question. I think, as a taxpayer, I've lived here 39 years. I think I should be able to get a simple answer, and you'll shrug your shoulders at me. I watched over half a dozen people get up. They get correspondence. They get, we talk about it, and they give you an answer. Me, I don't get an answer. Mr. Lavelle, we don't get an answer. Why is that, Mike?
There's nothing, there's no direction or code or anything given?
No, but we don't have a form, is the complaint. So as far as policy goes, policy perspective,
You have-
are we required to have a form or no?
No.
Okay.
Hanover Street, the Hanover project isn't gonna affect your block.
Would it be effective in the future if we put the local law or the state law and the process more clearly under the building code if someone wants to appeal it?
If you want to put that procedure on your code and your website, you can do
Okay, I think that would be helpful.
that. Right, there is no form, we have form for
We
planning,
don't
we
need
have
it.
form for zoning, we don't need a form. Right.
They can't just tell you right away. You can't just say right away.
I get it. I'm right.
Amy Josie, 79 Cross Street.
Could you
Just
speak up, please?
Sure, just before you just, speaking with Doug, you said he could fill out a form and appeal it with the zoning board.
Give it to the
Where is
zoning.
that form? He doesn't have to hire counsel
No, but
for
you-
that form, but you should supply that form so we can appeal it. Secondly, at the last meeting, I believe, Mr. Mayor, you said that we could correct our tax problem with using some of the fund balance, possibly $500-something thousand. And there was a comment made that if you use some of that fund balance, then you wouldn't have the money to match our grant for this new project that's going up on our street. So, one, I guess my question, a couple of questions. One, I want the form. I am not hiring counsel to file an appeal for the CBA if something is wrong. Two, why aren't we using some of the fund balance if we have, I think, 900,000 in the fund balance, or possibly more, based on tonight, to help some of the taxpayers? Because it's not just seniors. I am also having trouble paying my bills because of this incident. I have kids in college. I have a kid about to go to college. I have another one coming up to college. So it's not just seniors. It's young people too that can't afford things. And I'd rather put it towards my child's education than an error on a tax bill. And then my third question is where, with the last meeting, you said, why aren't we using that money to help some of us? It was brought to the board and saved the child.
You're 100% correct. I did say, take the money out of the fund balance, and I also said that let's throw the fire hydrants in there too, take care of this whole thing.
Correct.
Some people don't remember me saying that, but that's exactly what I said.
I recall you saying it. I believe you said about $541,000.
I said it loud. Yeah. So.
So that would probably help some of us out. When I think I'm paying $13 and now I'm paying $45, that's a really big chunk.
And
I
again,
just got my water bill from January to now. My water bill is now $1,000. It went up $500.
Right, we went up
No leaks, no toilet running, everything that everyone says, check this, you're leaking that, I'm not. So that's a lot of money for me to swallow, and my fire hydrants aren't fixed yet, but you raised my bill.
Yeah, correct. And we went up 17.9, the town went up 25.3.
Care about it.
So, now, like I said, our bills, we voted for all this payment. We voted for all this.
I know, it raised 5.2 to 17.9.
Yeah.
So now I have to decide, am I getting chicken for dinner or am I getting Spam? Right now, I can only afford Spam.
Maybe you're just ahead of us. My kids are out of college and stuff, I know that for sure.
But I don't have to, because that money that I budgeted is not there anymore, because now I have to put that towards taxes.
I'm 1 to 5 votes.
Well, then maybe everyone should get along.
You didn't take a vote. You didn't take a vote, ever. Yeah, okay. I would love a better answer from leadership. And yeah, okay, you never talked to this board about it.
I did mention it. I mentioned the over 500,000 plus.
You have avoided executive session, you have avoided attorney-client, you have avoided every email, every text message, and every phone call from this board, and every request, and you have not spoken to a single member on this board about alternative solutions other than sticking it to the taxpayers.
It would have been the board's job to amend the budget and lower the tax levy. Stop blaming the mayor. Someone tell them the truth already.
Anything that you say now is a total lie.
Somebody better say it's not a lie. It's not, it's just like a not a lie.
Only the board can amend the budget.